citizens, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One. The curious adventure that befell the Stevens family would never have happened if Ellen had had her way. But Ellen was a realist, her husband Richard a romantic. And when did realism ever hold the line against the subtle persuasions of romance? It all began during a visit to one of those cruise-ridden, sun-drenched islands in the Caribbean. A friendly family disagreement was in progress, an old story. It's been going on now for 6 years.
It's the one at the end of the dock, Ellen. There. Isn't she beautiful?
Mm-hmm. Very nice. But you promised her, Richard, no more boats. Well, not until Susie's at least 16 years old.
We'll never see a buy like this again. They're practically giving it away.
Well, then there's something wrong with it. It's got dry rot.
Not this ship. Come on, step aboard, Ellen.
Richard, why do you start these things? You know we're not in the market for a boat.
Oh, but this is such a jewel. Wait till you see the cabin. Plenty of headroom. A beautiful galley.
Can I go aboard, can I? I want to see.
Oh, all right. But just one quick look. And be careful of your dress, Susie.
Here, let me help you, Susie. There you are. Now, just look at this afterdeck. She's all white oak and cedar. And she's a motor sailor. You know, a lot better than an auxiliary engine. You can run just as well under power as under sail. There are 2 50-gallon fuel tanks below deck.
Mama, look at this kitchen down here. There's even an oven.
Really? Is there an oven?
Of course. The ship is a real home. Ellen, what do you say if we take a short run? I have the ignition key. The guy in the boatyard office said I could take her out.
No, Richard, I've had it with boats. And anyway, the question's academic. Even if we bought it, we couldn't get it back to the States.
We could sail it.
Are you out of your mind? It's hundreds of miles.
She has an enormous cruising range. What with the engine and sail, we just watch the weather predictions very carefully.
Well, come on, Susie. We're going to get off now. Richard, you take the keys back to the boatyard man. And I'll get the car and bring it down as far as I can. I'll pick you up at the gate.
Daddy?
Yeah?
I want to take a ride in it. Can I tomorrow, Daddy? Can I? Can I?
What, dear?
Can we go both for a boat ride tomorrow?
I don't know. Depends on your mother.
Oh, I wish we could buy the boat. Don't you? Daddy? Don't you?
On my watch.
Wish we could buy the boat.
Yeah, well, that part's all taken care of. I already bought it. The only problem now is how to break the news to your mother. Now, Ellen, you have to admit, this is the life. Look at that sea. It's like glass.
It's too calm. I don't like the gray mistiness that's settling over everything. I won't feel good until we sight land again.
Oh, it won't be long now. We were clipping right along when we had the sails up. See, that's the advantage of a motor sailor. When the wind died, we could switch right over to power and still maintain our speed.
Except for that panicky half hour when you couldn't get the engine started.
Just a little corrosion around the points. Bit of sandpaper fixed that. Here, Ellen, why don't you take over the wheel, huh? I want to go and look at the chart. Now, the first buoy we pick up is number 12. From there, we'll see a light. If we make it before nightfall, you can take over for a few minutes. Okay, Susie?
I don't like this mist.
You know where we are right now? We are sailing on the Spanish Main.
The Spanish Main?
That's right. These waters were infested with pirates in the old days. Blackbeard or Calico Jack.
Richard, I think there's a fog closing in. Look ahead.
Yeah. Well, just hold a steady course. We'll be sighting that buoy any minute now. Susie, go below and bring up my binoculars. There's a good girl.
The visibility's not any too good.
We can't be far from port.
Oh, Richard, I hope we're not running into one of those awful pea soupers.
Now, don't panic. Don't get Susie frightened.
Here's binoculars.
Thanks.
Can you make out anything?
Well, I don't see it yet. But we will.
Tell me more about the pirate.
Okay. Well, Calico Jack Rackham. They call him that because of the fancy clothes he wore. He sailed with Anne Bonny. There were girl pirates, too, you know.
Girl pirate?
Sure. Anne Bonny and Mary Reed. And from all accounts, they were better at it than the men.
fog's getting awfully thick, Richard. I've never seen one roll in so fast, and the sun's gone.
I'll take over.
No, I can hold her on course. You keep looking for that buoy. We should have been in port long ago.
Well, we lost a little time trying to start the engine.
Are we lost?
Of course not.
I think we ought to start sounding our foghorn.
Not yet. Don't you want to hear what happened to Anne Bonny?
What happened to her?
Well, the pirates all went to jail. They hanged poor old Calico Jack. Mary Reed was dying of a fever, and Anne Bonny nursed her. And then, well, nobody knows just what did happen. In the morning, when the jailkeeper opened their cell, he found the body of Mary Reed, but Anne Bonny was gone. She disappeared and was never heard of.
Richard!
What?
Look! Look what you've done, oh, Richard, how could you?
Well, what? Well, what is it?
This monkey wrench is right behind the compass, Richard.
Who put that there?
Who? Who was working on the engine? That wrench will have pulled that compass so far out of line, heaven knows where we are now.
Sorry. I was so glad to get that motor started. Oh, Elena, I'm sorry.
Oh, if I ever get my feet on dry land
Now,
again.
let's keep calm. We are not
Oh,
lost.
no, we're still right here in the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm sorry, Ellen.
How I ever let you talk me into this expedition.
Now, just try to keep cool.
Daddy?
It's all my fault.
We're probably 50 miles off course.
Daddy, there's a big can floating over there.
What? Where?
There.
The buoy. It is.
Oh, thank heaven.
I'll take the wheel. I want to go right up to it. We got to be sure of that number.
It should be 12, right?
I see it. I see the number.
What is it?
3.
3? No, it can't be.
A 3 and an 8.
Oh, no.
That's what it is.
Ellen?
Susie's right. 38.
That's impossible. Take the wheel again, Al. Just idle here by the buoy. There's no 38 on this chart. We're way off course. I have to go below and get the other charts.
Can you still see the buoy, Susie?
Sure, it's right here.
Well, keep your eye on it. Don't let me drift too far away. Darling,
Yeah?
you're not smoking down there, are you?
Good Lord, no. You know, I haven't smoked in 10 years.
I smell tobacco.
So do I.
What? Oh, well, let me get at the engine. Maybe there's a short in the wire.
No, it's not like that. It's tobacco. Did you hear that?
What?
It sounded like
Somebody laughed.
ahoy!
It's a ship.
Where? I don't see anything.
Ahoy! Ahoy! You don't answer. Blow the horn. Ahoy!
What ship are you?
The Lady D. We're off course. Can you give us our bearings?
You'd best lay over for the night. Steer north by east, a quarter east. You'll run right down the channel.
Thank you.
I still can't see anything. North by east, a quarter east. It was a woman.
Bring the ship around. Slowly, Ellen.
That's right.
I hope she knows what she's talking about.
And I still smell tobacco.
So do I. Was she that close? Funny. I didn't see a thing.
I didn't hear any motor.
Maybe she's sailing.
Now, Susie, how could she be? There's no wind.
And she seemed to get away so fast.
Ellen, go as slow as you can. I'm going forward and keep a sharp watch. We don't know what we're heading into.
But I've got her throttled way down.
Hey!
Where are we headed?
Quick, put her in reverse! Reverse! Quick, put her in reverse. We can back off. Now, here, let me try. That's no use.
Oh, we've found the ground.
Yes, and we're stuck fast.
One of the most beautiful yet fearful tales that travelers tell is the Lorelei, the siren who sits on a rock, combing her long golden hair and luring unwary boatmen to their doom. but a siren who smokes tobacco? We'll learn more of this unusual temptress when we return shortly with Act 2. There's nothing so eerie as the feel of a ship gone aground. A living, pulsing body beneath your feet goes suddenly dead. Aboard the Lady D, only Susie slept that night. Ellen and Richard kept an anxious vigil, waiting to see what the dawn would bring. Where were they? How great was the damage to their boats? On the last question hung the safety, perhaps the survival, of the ship and her crew.
Ellen, come up on deck. You've got to see this.
What, dear?
Look at that sunrise. Isn't it magnificent?
Oh, darling. You are the one man alive who could run a valuable boat aground in the middle of nowhere and greet the dawn like Shelley.
Some sort of ship is sure to pass by. Meantime, this is a great adventure.
Mm-hmm. Wait till the tide runs out. That'll be an adventure. This boat's going to roll over on her side.
No, she won't. She's built like a sea skip. They used to pull them right up on the beach to unload the catch. So, give us a kiss, Cassandra.
Good morning, darling.
Well, I guess I better go ashore and see if I can find a water supply on our desert island.
Is this really a desert island?
I'm afraid so, sleepyhead. And your father's playing Robinson Richard, look.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, here comes Friday.
Hello!
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You are it.
What'd he say?
I think he said we're early.
Early for what?
What island is this?
Campbell's Island.
Campbell's Island?
Yes, mistress. I'm Campbell.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Campbell? I'm Richard Stevens. This is my wife.
Good morning, mistress.
My daughter.
Welcome.
Did you say we were early?
Yes, yes. Usually September come before she bring a boat.
Who?
The lady who smoked the pipe.
A pipe?
Yes, a long clay pipe. You did not see her.
No.
We smelled her pipe.
Is Campbell's Island... I mean, is there a town here?
How? Ho, ho, ho. Campbell, the only man here.
Oh, we missed the harbor channel.
Campbell's Island. Have no harbor.
The lady said there was a channel.
Oh, yes. Sometimes she say that.
You mean she lied to us?
Baby, she want your boat. Your boat, she nice.
Oh, well, why don't you come aboard?
Thank you, sir.
Can I give you a cup of coffee?
No, thank you, mistress. Oh, your wheel.
I like a good old-fashioned wheel to steer with.
You pay a lot for that. Oh, the compass.
Oh, the ship's well equipped.
This is the ship's bell.
Brass. Must cost dear. You have a radio?
Just a receiving set. Now, Mr. Campbell, about getting off the beach.
You stuck fast, man.
Well, if you have a boat and a tow line at high tide...
No, man. My motor too small. Just a little outboard. I sail to the other island.
Oh, there are other islands near?
8 hours to sail there.
Could they send out a workboat from another island?
Maybe. We have to fetch them. No wireless on Campbell's Island.
You mean go in your little sailboat?
Oh, no, mistress. You and the child must stay here. My boat is small. If I try to keep a big boat, she take it.
You mean...
The lady with the pipe.
Well, now, she has a boat. She ought to be willing to...
No, man. Mistress Bonnie have no boat. That's the trouble. She look for a boat. All the time she look.
Bonnie. Did you say Bonnie?
And Bonnie?
You know about her?
Yes, but she died 200 years ago.
That's what they say.
You mean that we were talking to
A
a...
ghost?
Of course not, Susie. There are no such things.
I talked to a ghost. I talked to a
Susie,
ghost.
sensible. There are no such things as a ghost.
Your boat is stuck fast on Campbell's Island. But true?
Wait. Yes, but...
If the ghost, she don't bring you, how you think you got here?
Mr. Campbell and Susie are certainly getting along together. Look at them striding ahead of us.
He's striding, she's trotting. What a big, powerful man he is. And his skin like ebony.
How old do you think he is?
Well, I don't know. 40?
I'm eager to see his boat.
I hate to think of you starting out all alone with him.
I have to go for help.
But why can't he go by himself?
I don't know. He doesn't seem willing to do that.
Did you notice the way he examined our boat equipment?
Yeah, like he was taking inventory.
Yeah, but what do they call those people who lure ships to their doom by putting out beacon lights?
Wreckers.
Yeah. You think he's a wrecker?
The thought crossed my mind.
But we did hear a woman's voice.
Now, look, there could be two explanations for that. Either there is a woman on this island in spite of what Campbell says, or he's a ventriloquist. Look, Ellen, look down there.
Why, it's a castle.
A ruin. A burned-out ruin.
How in the world on this desert island?
I know what that is. I've seen those burnt mansions before. This was a plantation in the slave days. When the slaves rebelled, they burned the house to the ground.
Half of it is still standing.
Yeah. And now the house and the island have found a new master.
Welcome. You like a drink before lunch?
Lunch?
Yes, I give you a nice lunch. You like foie gras, caviar, potted shrimp, any kind of wine?
Nothing, thank you.
Vodka Collins will be just fine.
Vodka Collins. Soon come back.
Mama, Mr. Campbell says there's an ice-cold spring behind the house and coconuts and pineapples and...
Hey, look in the corner there. Cast bronze and enormous.
A propeller.
That's worth a lot of money.
And that wheel, it's huge.
Must have come off a schooner.
What does it say on this plate, Mama?
Duchess of the Caribbees.
This one says Rita 2. This one is Morning Star at SS. What's this word?
The SS Odyssey.
Oh, Richard.
Yeah. All of ships.
Don't wreckers usually murder their victims?
Now, Ellen, we don't know that he's a wrecker.
You like my house?
Oh, it's lovely.
I have good life, man, since I learned to get along with Mistress Bonnie.
How did you come here in the first place, Mr. Campbell?
I was fisherman, hard work, no money. One night, she take my boat. I swim to this island. I see all these rich things here on the beach. So I come back in a new boat. She put that one on the devil's thumb.
What's the devil's thumb?
Big rock. The devil, he put his thumb up at low tide. Then he pull it down at high tide. Then up at low tide. He hide it again, just below the water. Along come a sailorman. Up come the thumb, right through the bottom of the boat. The devil, I think he good friend of Mistress Bonnie.
Mr. Campbell, you say it'll take all day to get to the nearest boatyard?
In my boat. But they have workboat. Much quicker with power. They return here with you in 2-3 hours.
Then, can we start tomorrow morning?
Yes, man. 5 o'clock to catch the tide. I have things to sell very dear. Better than fish. Oh, yes, better than fish.
It feels good to stretch out. Ooh, I'm exhausted.
I was certainly glad to get back to our boat.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm too nervous to sleep, so I dread the thought of our separating tomorrow. When I think of you, all by yourself on the sea with that giant of a man, I'm so frightened. Why won't he go alone to get help? That would be perfectly normal, wouldn't it? Unless there's a price on his head. Richard? Richard? Oh, Richard, are you... Richard? Oh, dear, I'll never get to sleep.
She's a naval ship.
What? Who's that?
Over the side with you, lad. And mind, walk on cat's feet.
Who's there? Tobacco.
Aye, a good seaworthy vessel.
Who's there? Who are you?
Good evening, lady. I'm just admiring your ship. May I come aboard?
There's somebody with you. I heard you talking.
Aye, but they all ran at the sound of your voice. Men, a craven lot. Jack Rackham was the same. But Mary Reed stood beside me. We held off the king's men till our pistols were empty, and they boarded and knocked the cutlasses out of our hands. Mary died in prison, poor soul. She was with child. But that was days ago.
Days? It was more than that.
Perhaps. I've lost count of time. Will you join me in a pipe?
No thanks.
A fine, soothing thing to sit on a ship's deck and blow rings at the moon.
I've never seen such perfect smoke rings.
Ghosts.
Ghosts?
Aye. The ghosts of wedding rings I should have worn. Calico Jack called them that. A captivating man was Jack with his black, gypsy wild curls. They hanged him nonetheless. I stayed till Mary breathed her last,
And then? What happened?
Not all the king's men could ever find out. But come, what will you take for your ship?
She's not for sale.
Come, I must have a ship. They be after me. You do not want to see poor Annie swing in the wind like Calico Jack would.
No, I wouldn't want to see that, but they can't harm you now. They're gone. All turned to dust long ago.
Now put me in iron.
No, my dear, no.
I must have a ship. Listen, I have something worth hundreds of ships. I'll trade it now for this miserable little craft.
What is it?
Rackham and I, we sailed with Blackbeard once.
Blackbeard?
The same. Now, come close, lads. I know where Blackbeard buried his treasure.
Blackbeard's treasure?
A great treasure it was. The booty from 3 rich Spanish merchantmen, laden with gold and silver.
You have a map? A chart?
No need. I know where it is. Come with me, lass. We'll slip out on the next time.
Aren't you forgetting that you drove us aground last night?
A good storm will set you afloat.
Campbell says the big storms don't come till September.
Aye, but sometimes they do. We'll see to that. So, it's a bargain. You'll sail with me.
No, I can't.
You'd abandon me then, betray me?
No, but I
must have a fast ship. They'll be after me. They'll overtake me, and this time they'll hang me. In mercy's name, lass, help me.
I can't. There's a great gulf between us, Anne. You're a dream, a figment. And when I wake up, I'll still be here, but you'll be gone. I can't help you because you're nothing. You're nothing but a dream. Anne? Where are you? Come back! Come back!
There's an apparition for you. A whistling, pipe-smoking lady with a cutlass at her belt. But why did she leave so abruptly? Was she offended at being called a nothing, a figment? Well, none of us likes to hear the truth about himself, least of all a ghost. We'll follow Anne Bonny's ruthless quest for a ship when we return shortly with Act 3. A spectral lady bent on seizing a ship, or a laughing West Indian intent only on gathering up the spoils. Ellen doesn't know which she fears most as she watches the dawn stretch its rosy fingers across the uncharted island where the cruiser Lady D lies stranded in the sand.
That was a damn good breakfast, Ellen.
I had a depressing dream last night.
Oh?
Well, at least I think it was a dream.
Yeah.
Anne Bonny boarded the Lady D, and we had a long talk. And I felt sorry for her. She was frightened.
That scared ghost, huh? That's a switch.
Well, she was terrified. Oh, darling. I hate to see you go off with that awful man in that little boat.
Now, Ellen, dearest, you mustn't worry.
I wish we could stay together. The sea is so treacherous.
Campbell's been sailing these waters all his life.
Oh, yes. And he's lost 2 boats. He told us. And besides, you're going out in a tiny boat with a criminal.
He's not. He gathers salvage. That's all we really know about him.
Good morning. Return now. Time to go.
Toss me a line. I'll make you fast to our stern.
Touch.
Got it.
Come up on deck, Susie. Daddy's leaving.
Come on, darling. Take care.
I want to go too.
So do I, but we can't, darling.
I don't want to stay here.
Morning, Mr. Susie.
Good morning. I want to go with you, Daddy, please.
Now, there isn't room for us all. You and Mommy take care of each other.
Don't go, Daddy.
Mr. Susie, you go to my house. You can look at the books, read the pictures.
Now, when I get into the boat with Mr. Campbell, we're going to let you free the line and cast it off. Now, see how quickly you can do it. Here I go. Hurry, cast us off.
There.
Be good now. We'll be back before you know it.
Aren't you going to start the motor?
No, the tide, she take us out. Then I put up the sail.
Oh, darling! You're slicker. A quick shower might
Not
come
a
up.
chance. Look at that sky.
No stormy weather. Not if Aunt Bonnie, she don't whistle up the wind.
What? What did you say?
No storm. Not if she don't whistle up the wind. She do that sometime. Yes, man. Ooh-wee, she do that.
Too long in Campbell's house, Susie. We should be getting back to the Lady D.
It's still raining.
I thought it was one of those quick little tropical showers, but just look out there.
The water's all ruffled.
White caps.
I'm hungry. Let's go back to the Lady D.
We'll be soaked.
I'll tell you what let's do. Why don't I go back alone and get you raincoat?
No, darling.
It doesn't matter if I get wet. I'm in my bathing suit.
No, Susie, no.
You always say no. Daddy would let me. It's only a little way. Please.
Well, you promise you'll come straight back?
I promise.
No loitering now.
I won't.
lively. A full great tide is coming. The ship will throw trees to it.
Oh, I'll go get my mom.
No time for that. The wind's offshore and the tides are making you could save her if you weren't afraid.
I'm not scared.
Then, up to the angel us.
I can't put up the sails. I'm not big enough.
Ah, that's a pity. The ship is lost. Lost.
But I can start the engine.
Can you not?
Sure, anybody could do that. You just turn that little key there. She starts right off.
She's saved. Start her up.
I can't lift that big anchor, though.
Cast it off. Cast it off. That's the losing anchor to the ship.
Daddy says always start the engine first.
Aye, aye. Captain.
I'm too short to reach the gear shift thing. I know. I'll get something to stand on. Here. Daddy's tool chest will do. Now, let's see. He calls this little thing the choke.
Hurry. She's swinging about.
I've never done this before. Now, I'll turn the key. See? She started right off. Now I put the motor in reverse.
The anchor on the beach.
I forgot. I'll go forward and untie it.
Can you free it?
Yes. It's just wound around this little thing.
Steady there. She's rolling.
I have to throw the rope far away. Daddy says
Never mind. Do it. Ship's rolling. The top of the waves.
he sure is.
Hurry. I shall go up on the beach again.
I don't know what to do now.
Back off and turn the wheel hard to starboard. No, this way. That's right. The stern will swing to port and she'll ride to it.
I did it. But she's going too far.
A fine helmsman you do. She can keep the water now. Straighten her out. Head out to sea. Time to port.
The wheel's so big. That's better. We're not rolling so much. Where shall I go?
Right out to sea.
Oh, no. I don't want to go way out there.
If you don't, you'll go around again.
I don't want to go out the ocean. I'm scared.
Run around the island and drop your anchor on the other side. She can lie in the lee.
I left the anchor on the beach.
Have you run?
No, just a little tiny one for the rowboat.
Ah, pity. Well, go around the island.
I'm trying. I can't. Something's the matter. Look! What's the matter with the wheel? It's just spinning around. It's all loose.
Ah, alas! I greatly fear. Yes, the rudder cable broke. You'll not be able to pilot her now.
What shall I do?
We're caught in the fast currents. You'll be swept out to sea. There's nothing for it. The ship is doomed. She's lost. Lost. And I must find another.
There's my mommy on the beach. Mommy! I can't steer it. It's broken. Miss Bonnie, what shall I do? Miss Bonnie, where are you? Mommy, I'm scared.
But a ship can't just disappear like that, can it? Without leaving a trace.
Of course not, darling. Mr. Wyatt here has radioed back to the boatyard. They say the authorities are sending out a helicopter. We'll hear from it soon, and when we do, we'll go right to her. This tug is faster than it looks.
No way. It's terrible.
Isn't there anything else we can do, Mr. Wyatt?
I don't know what to say to you folks. We've been around the island several times. There's no sign of a ship.
My baby. I should never have let her out of my sight. I had no idea she'd try to start the engine.
Ellen, darling, don't. We'll find her.
She was only gone from the house just about 10 minutes. I set out right after her.
I know, dearest.
And then when I got to the beach, the boat was out a little way from the shore. And Susie was standing on the deck crying. and the boat was just drifting away. It went around that point of land out there, and I ran to the other side of the island. But I never saw it again.
Oh, no, dearest, please, don't cry.
There was just nothing I could do until you came back in the tugboat.
I know. We'll find her.
I wish that man Campbell was here. He knows these waters. Why didn't he come back with you?
He dropped me at the public dock and took off like a shot.
The police have had him in for questioning several times. There have been too many wrecks in the last few years, but they never seem to get anything out of him. So, you ran into him too, huh?
Yeah, he told us. Hey, wait a minute. What did he call it? That rock, the Devil's Thumb.
Yes, the submerged rock.
Yeah, do you know where it is, Mr. Wyatt?
Well, there's only one I know of, a very dangerous spot, right in the path of a swift current. And sometimes it's, there are shoals to very bad place.
Oh, Richard.
Mr. Wyatt?
Yes, of course. I know about where it lies. Now, we'll run down on it. Best to have a look. This is the tugboat Swallow calling Coastal Police Launch. Tug Swallow to Police Launch. Come in, please. Over.
Police launch to Swallow. I read you. Over.
That's good. I can hardly hear you, but it doesn't matter. We've located the missing cruiser, Lady D. Over.
Is the child okay? Over.
Yeah, it's a miracle. The kid was alone on board. She managed to drop a small anchor onto a submerged sandbar near the Devil's Thumb. I have the boat in tow, and we're heading back to port. Over.
Glad to hear it. Over.
Right. Over and out. Well, Susie, you're quite a sailor. But how did you know that sandbar was there? You couldn't see it.
The lady told me. The lady with the pipe.
A lady?
She's not a real lady. She's a ghost.
A ghost?
Well, it's hard to
We
explain.
don't believe in such things, of course, but...
She went away for a while, but when I started to cry, she came back.
A ghost?
I'm sure there's some perfectly natural
She
explanation.
said to put out a long, long line so the anchor wouldn't drag.
Well, that was sound advice. But I don't understand.
You see, Mr. Wyatt, I've been telling Susie these pirate stories.
And I'd had a very vivid dream, and she heard us talking about that. You know how impressionable children are.
Excuse me. Do you smell something burning?
Something burning?
Yeah, it smells like tobacco.
Richard.
Mr. Wyatt, don't you think we better get both these boats back into harbor just as fast as we can?
Well, those were the known facts of the strange voyage of the Lady D. To this day, Susie insists she talked to a ghost. Ellen believes it was a startling example of the power of the imagination. And Richard has been reading up on the dematerialized nature of modern physics. And he wonders if somewhere in space there exists a vast psychological viewing screen, picking up impressions from other times, and through which it was the fate of the Lady D to pass. I'll be back shortly. And now a brief footnote to the story you've just heard. Among seafaring men, there is a belief, as ancient as the art of navigation itself, that when the wind dies down, a sailor may bring it to life again by the simple act of whistling. The mystery concerning the fate of Anne Bonny, as well as her life of piracy with Calico Jack, Mary Read, and the nefarious Blackbeard, is not legend. It is thoroughly documented historical fact. Our cast included Augusta Dabney, Paul Hecht, Corinne Orr, Margaret Barker, and Dan Acco. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Joe.
Jane?
Joe, there's something crazy going on in this house. Something real crazy.
Now, Amy, honey.
Joe, listen to me. There's something wrong. Jack says he never saw me before in his life.
What?
And never proposed marriage to me, and then he did. And his wife, she came to my bedroom with an axe in her hand.
For chimney's sake, hold it. Amy, you're not making sense.
Oh, I know I'm not, because what's happening here, what's happened to me, doesn't make sense either.
Will somebody explain this?
A mistake of some kind has been made.
Mistake?
Your sister, well, I haven't wanted to spell this out in so many words, but since you're here now and can take care of her, Joe, I'm afraid your sister is crazy.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
From the Spain of legend, Mistala is here. Mistala, the light, natural rosé wine created in Spain to capture a legendary flavor. Mistala, imported rosé, born of vines that once bore the wines of a fabulous era. Salud, amor y pesetas, y el tiempo para gastarlos, America. Mistala.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Right this way, folks. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up. Yes, welcome this night to a carnival. To the razzle-dazzle clash of color and sound. Hiding hate and evil and murder.
Right this way. The Freak Show, ladies and gentlemen. See nature's mistakes. Step right up.
It's opening night at Prince's Carnival outside St. Louis. But no fortune teller sees in cards or crystal ball the dark events that will happen here.
I loathe everything you are. The sight of you sickens me. I'll...
Go what? Beat me? Break me?
Yes.
Try it. Every man in the carny knows you're here, knows what you are. Giant, strong man, grips, barkers, they're all standing by. If I call, they'll tear you apart. Oh, give me reason to call. I'd love it. Go on. Hit.
Our suspense drama, Tattooed for Murder, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Nancy Moore and stars Terry Keane and Stefan Schnabel. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
There's nothing wrong with drinking Budweiser sip by sip, is there? Well, the Brewers of Budweiser think there's a better way. Sipping's fine if you're drinking wine. But Bud is the king of beers, a hearty drink. Look, rinse a 10 or 12 ounce glass with cold water. Then open a can or bottle of Bud and pour it right down the middle so it kicks up a good head of foam. Now, take a big drink and then swallow big. No sips. That's how it should be done. More taste, more beer drinking enjoyment. Thanks to exclusive Beechwood aging, Budweiser has a smoothness that lets it go down especially easy. Sure, it's an expensive way to brew beer, but brewing beer right does make a difference. That's why, when you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis. When you invite guests over for a holiday dinner, you won't want to spend all your time in the kitchen. Frank Lieber here with some help from True Value hardware stores who have kitchen appliances that'll do the pot watching for you. There's Sunbeam's high-dome multi-cooker fry pan, for instance. Cooks large roasts or fowl, the automatic thermostat assures even heat. Has a hard-coat Teflon cooking surface, so you can use metal utensils, and foods won't stick, so cleanup chores will be easier. That's the Sunbeam high-dome cooker fry pan. True Value hardware stores also have Sunbeam's new high-dome Teflon crocker fry pan. Has a removable ceramic vessel that turns the fry pan into a slow cooker. And because it's heat-resistant, the crocker is safe for oven use, too. Both the crocker and fry pan remove from the base for easy, complete cleaning. Sunbeam's crocker fry pan and multi-cooker fry pan are just two of the values at participating True Value hardware stores.
I promised you a carnival. I'll keep that promise. But be warned that I do not promise a spun sugar candy time. On the contrary. First, we must go back 3 years. That summer, St. Louis papers carried a story that was milked for all it was worth. It was worth a great deal. Headlines.
Otto Kramer's daughter missing. Heiress disappears. Erica Kramer not found. Foul play suspected.
That was 3 years ago. Today, a mansion outside the city has a bronze plaque fixed to iron gates. Otto Kramer, no admittance. Due perhaps to the disappearance of a daughter of this house, no one is welcomed beyond its gates. Inside alone on this fateful morning, another daughter, Catherine, age 16, a few minutes ago said goodbye to her father as he left for his bank. She now starts upstairs to clean. In spite of his wealth, Kramer keeps no servants, obeying his own dictate, no admittance. Suddenly, Catherine is startled by a frightening sound. Only the doorbell. But no one comes here unless her father is present, and seldom then. Would Papa want her to answer? Catherine thinks not, is certain not. The ringing persists. But suddenly the sound no longer seems frightening. Instead, a merry summons, the world at her door. She flies down the stairs, but as her hand turns the doorknob, hope vanishes. No one has come to see her. No one ever will. Papa forbids it. Papa's word is law, is iron.
Catherine? Oh, don't you know me, Kate? Erica! Oh, little sister. I can't believe it. I thought you were dead. No, I'm real. I'm here. I'm back, and I'm certainly not dead.
Oh, I've dreamed of this 1,000 times.
So have I, little Kate. Dreamed and planned. But come in, Paul. Hurry. I don't want to be seen.
Does that mean you'll go away again? Oh, Erica, don't. Please don't.
We'll talk about that in a minute. First, I have to look at this house, this prison I broke out of. Nothing's changed. Cold and ugly. No, I don't want to look at it. Let me look at my little Kate.
Erica, where have you been?
Oh, you are so pretty now, you sweet 16.
It doesn't matter about me. Tell me where you've been all these 3 years.
You matter more than anything. Oh, does Papa ever let you out of this house?
But sometimes he takes me driving. And sometimes to church.
Papa, in church? Oh. And the rest of the time, what do you do?
Have you forgotten what it's like here?
Oh, Kate, how could I? But then there were two of us. We could at least talk to each other. Who do you talk to now?
No one?
No tutor anymore?
Not since I was 16.
Not one single friend? No fun at all? Never mind. I know the answer. Papa's made you into this pitiful little mouse.
Oh, please don't talk about me anymore. Tell me where you went.
Guess.
Oh, but we did guess. Papa and I and the police. Oh, and the smartest private detective in all of St. Louis.
All that money squandered for nothing.
Where were you? Why won't you tell me?
All right, little one. Hang on tight. I was in the last place on earth Papa would dream a daughter of his could be.
Where?
In a carnival.
You're teasing. It's a joke.
Yes, a beautiful, wonderful joke. But the joke's on Papa. A Kramer daughter, part of a carny. Remember the summer I disappeared, the carnival 2 miles away?
Uh-huh.
Remember how we could hear the music sometimes?
Oh, yes, I do remember. You said it was a merry-go-round.
One afternoon, I sneaked off to see it. I couldn't tell you, honey. I was 19 and grown, but you were only 13. It would have scared you. Papa would know it. He would sense it, and he'd pry the story out of you.
No.
Yes, baby.
All right. Well, maybe then. But not now. Not anymore.
So, after I saw everything at the carny, bold as brass, I went to see the owner, Jody Prince. I told him about this concentration camp. I said I wanted to be in his carnival. He liked my looks. He said he could use me in one of his shows, and he signed me on. The next week, when Prince's carnival left St. Louis, I left with it. Out of this house of death, into a carnival that was life.
My sister? In a carnival? What do you do in a place like that?
You'll know soon enough. Now, come on. Let's pack your bag. I'm taking you with me, and you'll never come back to this jail again.
Taking... I'd never come... Me?
Why else would I be here? Take this chance. Baby, did you think I'd forgotten you?
But you never wrote. You never phoned.
Katie, you must have known I didn't dare. Papa would have all mail forwarded to the bank, have the phone tapped, or what friends did we have to send a message by? I had to wait till the carny came back to St. Louis. But all these years I have planned for this day. The day Papa would lose you, too. So come on, let's pack your bag.
I can't go. I can't do that.
Kate, please don't be afraid. You'll be as safe in the carny as I've been. He won't look for you there any more than he looked for me. Anyway, you will stay out of sight until we leave town.
No, you don't understand. I have to take care of Papa. He's getting old. He has a very bad heart condition.
Kate, you have given him 16 years of your life, and what has he given you? He's locked you in this prison, made you a servant, beat you.
He hasn't beaten me once since you went away.
I don't believe that.
It's true, never.
Well, then you never crossed him. I did. Mama did. And we both paid for it, Kate. Mama died of it. I ran away from it. And you're so beaten down he doesn't even need to use that walking stick.
Papa and I get along. Maybe not like other people, but we've made a life. The only life I know. Why did you have to come and bring another? Go away so I can forget you every day.
All right, Katie. Katie, please. This is too sudden. This is too new. Papa owns you, owns every thought. You need time for thoughts of your own. Now, I'll go away until tomorrow. Today and tonight, think about the carny with me. I will go everywhere, see everything. It's like merry-go-round music, honey. Think of it like that.
A merry-go-round?
Mm-hmm. And you won't tell Papa I was here.
Oh, no.
Katie, promise.
Nothing in the whole world could make me tell him.
Tomorrow morning I'll come again. And by then you'll change your mind. Tomorrow my little sister and I will go back to the carny together.
Papa? Would you like some more meat?
No.
Wasn't the roast the way you like it? Papa? Will you have anything else at all?
No.
Then, if it's all right with you, I'll do the dishes. Excuse me.
Don't have.
Oh.
Sit down. You have not my permission to leave.
Yes, sir.
You will answer a question, Catherine, and you will answer with care. What is wrong with you tonight?
No, nothing's wrong, Papa.
Nothing is wrong. I see. Or do you think perhaps you can fool your father? Yes, Catherine?
Please, I'm not trying to fool you.
There is a difference here. Something has happened. Now you will inform me what it is.
What could possibly happen?
That is what I intend to learn. Did you leave this house?
No, sir.
Someone was here?
No, sir.
You lie.
No, Papa, no.
Then why did your hands tremble when you passed my food? Why is your face flushed like an apple? Huh? Why?
It's just... Well, I just don't feel very well. All day
All day you hide something. Tonight you lie. I will have the truth, Catherine. One way or another, I will have it.
I did tell you a lie, Papa. I went out.
Out where, my child?
To the grocery store.
And how did you go to the grocery store?
The bus.
And what did you want at the store?
To buy apples.
I do not see any apples.
Oh, but they didn't have any.
A pity. Since you so much wanted apples that you left the house, you're not allowed to leave. But we are very fond of apples. Are we not, Katrine?
Yes, Papa.
Why can't you look at me, Katrine?
I am, Papa.
Yes, now you are. Now, why do you stammer, huh, little one? Your pleasant outing today has made you nervous, yes? Answer me!
Papa!
Answer, what ails you?
I told you, I don't feel good.
Your health is poor. I had forgotten. You will forgive me my lapse of memory.
I'll go up and lie down if you don't need me anymore.
No, I cannot spare you. There's something I want you to get for me. My walking stick.
But it's there by your chair, Papa.
Yes, so it is, yes. But it is my whim that you hand it to me. I walk around the table, pick it up, place it in my hand. Come on! I put great store by obedience. You know that, do you not, Katrine?
Yes, sir. Your stick, Papa.
On second thought, you will hold it yourself, and we will observe it. The gold carving on the top. Describe it, please.
It's a crown.
A crown signifying authority. My walking stick once belonged to the Emperor Napoleon. His hand held it. Now yours, soon mine. One more question, Charlie. Why do I always carry it?
I don't know.
As the symbol of my authority. And when that authority is questioned, is in doubt, the walking stick of Napoleon removes that doubt. Follow me?
Yes, sir.
Alas, your sister's disobedience in the past compelled me to use it. But not on you, never. And I trust I never will. Shall we test you?
I don't know what you mean, Papa.
I think you do. Who was here today, my little Katrine?
No one, Papa. No one was here, only me all day, except when I went for the apples. No one.
All right. Hand me the stick. Thank you. A fine instrument for changing lives to truth. Soon it will persuade you to talk and not about apples. Who was here today? Now will you answer?
Yes.
Now, splendid. Who was here with my little girl? Who? Erica.
1 hour later, Otto Kramer stalks down the thronging chaos of the carnival midway. Fury mounts to the bursting point as again and again he asks the same question. Where is Erica Kramer? And receives the same answer. Never heard of no Erica Kramer, mister. Carney personnel banded together to protect one of their own.
Step right up, folks. Right this way.
Right what way? Where in this pigsty is his daughter? We'll find out when I return shortly with Act 2.
There's a fresh new spirit sweeping the land. A spirit of honesty and integrity. A free spirit. A spirit that demands products which fill your utilitarian needs while satisfying your good taste and your desire for economy. We at Buick have felt the spirit and are dedicated to your sense of freedom. Our crisply designed, solidly built 1975 Buicks will bring joy even to the most demanding of free spirits. The 1975 Buick Electra, LeSabre, Riviera, Century, Skylark, Apollo, and the gutsy new Buick Skyhawk are dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone. Hey, there's an exciting new attitude at Buick. Take advantage of it at your local Buick dealer. Dine in a real City of Dallas trolley car under the largest collection of Tiffany lamps in America. Or relax in an antique barber's chair and sip something cool. Of course, it's the Old Spaghetti Warehouse, Dallas's fun restaurant, where you can enjoy the $1 million atmosphere at $2 prices, with special luncheon prices from just $1.69. The Old Spaghetti Warehouse for dinner or lunch. It's the best restaurant buy in Dallas. And now park free at our lot at Lamar and Munger, just 1 block east of the restaurant.
Otto Kramer glares with revulsion at the freak tent barker ballying the treasures within.
See them all, folks. 25 cents. Only 2 bits. 1/4 of $1.
Kramer looks above the bally stand at the garish canvases picturing the freaks. Larger than life. More terrible than life. His eyes rivet on the painting of a nearly naked woman. Her body ornamented with hearts, flags, stars, flowers, sunsets, peacocks, snakes. Then, lips locked white, he buys a ticket and enters the tent. On the 5th platform stands the tattooed princess, her body debauched by the colored needle, her beautiful face unmarred, smiling at her admirers. Kramer halts by the 1st platform, stares. And when he has seen enough of his daughter's depravity, he turns and quits the tent.
Erica. Princess. He's coming.
I'm ready. Stay back of my wagon, Jody. Stay out of sight.
I ought to be in here with you. Your father's got a heavy walking stick.
Of course he has. He always has. Go on, Jody. I'm not afraid of him anymore. I can take care of Papa.
All right. Holler if you need me, sweetheart.
I will. Go on. Oh, hurry, Papa. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Show about to begin. Oh, and how I'll relish it. I let the midget tell you where my living wagon is. If I hadn't, no one in the carny would give me away. You think I didn't see you in the freak top? And the look on your face when you saw my body? Now it's covered with a cape. To spare you, Papa? Oh, no. To play a game. And my game will outsmart yours, Papa. Hurry up. The stakes are high. Oh, hurry, damn you. Greetings, Papa.
Freak! My daughter, a freak!
Would you care to come in? Or would a carnival living wagon contaminate the distinguished Otto Kramer?
I will come.
The Princess Frederica is highly honored.
Princess Frederica.
Aren't you pleased I didn't use the name you gave me?
I am revolted by everything you are.
Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You beat poor little Kate till she told you where I was.
That is a lie. Katrine tells me everything. She is my good, obedient daughter, not like you. Katrine has no sister. Her sister is dead.
Dead? Oh, no, old man, you're wrong. You who think you're never wrong. Katrine's sister is wonderfully alive. Making up for the years I might as well have been dead. 19 years you kept me buried alive.
I came here to take you back where you belong. But you belong where you are, with the dregs of humanity. I wouldn't have this thing you are now. A freak flaunting the corruption of your body for anyone to see.
Well, how well you put it. Would you care to have a private viewing? Oh, of course you would. Very well, Mr. Kramer. I removed my cape.
Oh, freak! Tattooed freak!
Can you think of a better way to disguise the scars my father put on my body? A snake, a rose, the stars and stripes, covers stripes. You gave me. Oh, yes. I read the description you supplied the newspapers of your missing daughter. Scars on back from automobile accident. What accident? Oh, God, how I wanted to write to the editor. Dear sir, you cheat my distinguished father. You underrate his powers. The scars on Erica Kramer's back are from his loving hand. Papa, why can't you stop staring at me? Hearts and twine, garlands of flowers, Cupid smirking. How strange you find them beautiful.
No, they are loathsome, vile. I'll...
You'll what? Beat me? Break me?
Yes!
I wouldn't raise that walking stick if I were you. Everyone in the carny knows you're here, knows what you are, and they are standing by. If I call, they'll tear you apart. Go on. Hit! Give me reason to call. They'll come, every man on the lot. Big Lou, the giant, Herman, the strong man, the grips, the concessionaires, and the man I'm going to marry.
What kind of man would marry a freak? Lie with a woman covered with cartoons? Only another freak.
Jody Prince owns this carnival, and he's like his name. He's a prince. Now get the hell out of here before I have him throw you out.
Oh, with pleasure I go. The sound and sight of you sickens me. You freak.
My body's tattooed, but your soul is. You're the freak.
And you stay away from my Katrine.
That's one order I'll take from you, old man. This morning I thought my sister was worth saving. Well, she's not. She went crying to you about me. Kate's lost. She's all yours. Take her and welcome. Now get out! Oh. You think that's all, Papa? You think I'm through with you? That was only a teaser. The best is yet to come. Jody? Are you out there?
Right here, honey. I just wanted the old man out of sight. If I met him face to face, I might kill him.
Did you hear it all?
Every word. Till you threw him out. I was right here by the door. Beautiful.
Oh, it took me 22 years to win, but I have won, Jody. I have won.
Yes. But there's something I don't understand. You said you were through with Kate.
I lied. I had to. I had to make him think I wouldn't try to see her again. If he thought I'd be back, he'd have Kate guarded and I couldn't get to her tomorrow.
Oh, baby, he's no dummy. He probably knows you lied and why. Anyhow, he won't take a chance. She'll be guarded, all right? Count on it.
Then I'll get to her another way.
How?
I've got it all figured. I'm enough of my father's daughter, so nothing can stop me now. Good morning, Papa.
Erica.
Your secretary is taking her coffee break, so I just walked in. I hope you don't mind.
How dare you come here and shame me? Close that door.
Out of respect for your lofty position in the bank, I wore a high neck and long sleeves. But I will shame you. Unless you give me Kate.
Are you out of your wits?
I tried to phone her. You've cut the wires.
Telephone is merely out of order. Very unfortunate.
I went to the house. You've hired a thug to keep me out.
A friend, a house guest.
A jailer guarding the gate.
He will protect Katrine from undesirable associations. She suffered that indignity yesterday. It will not happen again.
Unless you give me Kate, I will drag your name through the law courts.
Indeed.
All of St. Louis will know what you are. You think I won't?
I dare say your folly would go to that extreme, yes. But what judge or jury would take the word of a cheap carnival tramp? Your word against Otto Kramer's? Who would believe a freak whose body is a monstrosity?
Oh, they'll believe me when I show them what the pious Otto Kramer did to that body.
Leave this office. Go where you belong. The freak tent.
Okay, Princess, I cased the joint.
Can we do it?
Risky, but we can pull it off.
Now? In broad daylight?
When you're afraid your old man will yank Kate out of town, or at least hide her somewhere. It's now or never.
How do we do it?
Well, if your house wasn't in the country, we couldn't. Sure, the place is locked and barred, but what we do is get a rope ladder up to Katrine's windowsill.
What about the guard? How do we get through the gates?
I'll take care of him. He's a cinch. You'll stay out of sight while I rap with our friend. I'll be a drunk looking for a shot of booze to cure a hangover.
Oh, Jody.
Listen, it'll be a great act. I'll be falling down drunk, see? I get close to the guy, he's off guard. Whammo, I knock him out. You go up the ladder and persuade Kate to come down it.
Can I persuade her?
Well, sure you can. You hold all the cards, sweetheart. That plan you've worked out for her is a winner. Come on, let's go.
Papa will come after me. He'll bring me back.
He'll come all right, but not bring you back, I promise, honey.
But how can you say that? You know he will.
Because I've got a plan to stop it. Marvelous plan. I fooled him when I joined the Carney, and I can again.
No one can fool him. Last night when I tried to lie, he knew. He always knows.
And last night, what did he do to you, Kate?
I don't want to talk about it.
Kate, we have to. Now listen to me. He has started and he can't stop. The least thing you do to displease him, he'll use that stick. And nothing will please him except pain. Yours.
Don't.
That's what you'll say to him. Don't, Papa, don't. And it won't do any good, Katie. Can't you see you don't dare stay here anymore?
I don't dare go. When you went to the carnival, he didn't know where you were. He couldn't bring you back. With me, he'll know, and he will bring me back.
Little sister, please trust me. I tell you, my plan will work, but we need all day to get ready. Now stop crying. Listen to the plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the star of Princess Carnival. Step right up to a platform, step lively. Feast your eyes. Every inch of her lovely body, a work of art. Blazoned with hearts and flags, flowers and cupids, snakes and peacocks, suns and stars. Frederica, the tattooed princess. All right, now, quiet, please. Quiet, now, quiet. Watch as the princess turns and the glory of
Johnny,
the tower.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who is this handsome gentleman who honors our little show tonight? Mr. Otto Kramer, isn't it? Why, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe the foremost banker of St. Louis is an admirer of the tattooed princess. Well, move along, all you lovely people. Come back to see me later. Right now, dear Mr. Kramer wants to talk privately to his princess. And bankers always get their money's worth.
All right, across the tent, ladies and gentlemen. Teeny the midget craves your company. All right, step lively. Right this way, right this way.
Good evening, Papa. How generous of you to patronize the freak show a second time.
Where is Katrine?
And how clever of you to know that she's with me.
What have you done with her?
I've taken her out of bondage.
Answer me!
I answered.
I'll ruin you for this. I'll have this carnival blasted off the map.
Just how do you propose to do that, Mr. Kramer?
Now show me a carnival that isn't breaking the law. Underage performers, harboring criminals, white slavery, and now kidnapping.
Katrine left of her own free will.
She is 16 out of age. That is kidnapping.
Oh, dear, dear. I never thought of that. So why haven't you called the police?
What, and humiliate her? Make this vileness public? Now, I call them after I take her away from here tonight. Now, where is she? You think you can keep her from me?
I've no intention of keeping her from you. You can see her at midnight, after the last show.
I'll see her now.
You'll see her when I say you can see her. Midnight. 4 hours from now. Right here in this tent. Don't try to find her. She's hidden and protected. Until then, I recommend the House of Horrors. You'll feel right at home.
Earlier this night, when Otto Kramer found his house empty, he stood murmuring Katrine's name over and over. Can it be that, in his twisted way, he does love this daughter? Nevertheless, his fingers tightened on the walking stick. When he left for the carnival, he did not trouble to lock the door. What was valuable in his house already had been stolen. No admittance. Anyone who disobeys Otto Kramer must be punished. We'll witness someone's punishment when I return shortly with Act 3.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablets?
No, sinus medicine. Sinus tablets. Helps the headache and the pressure.
Oh, you mean sign-off.
Exactly.
Headache pain is one thing. A sinus headache is something else. Sometimes your whole face can seem to throb with pain. You want relief. Take Sign-Off tablets. SINEOFF, the sinus medicine that gives you a full dose of pure aspirin, plus a sinus drainer. Sign-Off, the sinus medicine that helps relieve sinus pain while you drain. And Sign-Off doesn't stop there. Have you tried Sign-Off Sinus Spray, the fastest known form of sinus congestion relief? It works in seconds. That's Sign-Off Sinus Spray. When sinus flares up, use Sign-Off tablets and spray, only as directed.
SINEOFF.
Sign-Off.
Exactly.
Sign-Off, the sinus medicines in the bright red box.
Midnight in Madrid. We walk down the ancient street of the knife makers, Calle de Cuchilleros. We open the carved wooden doors of Botín. Here friends have gathered for 250 years to dine and talk and taste the beauty of Spanish wines. Now, in another age, Mistala is here. Mistala, the light, natural rosé wine created in Spain to capture a legendary flavor. Mistala, imported rosé, born of vines that once bore the wines of a fabulous era. Mistala, taste it. The talk will be good, and so will the memories.
Mistala. Mistala, Spanish Rosé.
Midnight. The carnival toys are silent, closed down. The midway is emptying of customers, departing with bright balloons and cheap prizes won in games of chance. But one customer most surely does not depart. And another game of chance is about to begin. Otto Kramer paces the dimly lighted freak tent, a walking stick gripped in his hand. In Erica's living wagon, his two daughters are no less tense than their father. Both wear long satin capes winking with sequins. Erica's purple, Catherine's red.
You two beautiful dolls ready?
Oh, Jody, will it work?
Easy, Princess, easy. It'll work.
It can't. Oh, I never should have come.
Why not quit it, both of you?
If Papa takes Kate back.
It'll be worse than it was before.
Will you cut it out?
All those promises I made her. What was I thinking of?
You know, I never saw you like this before. My girl has a nerve of 10 people, ain't scared of nothing.
That's when I take chances for myself. This is for Kate. Maybe I'll hurt her instead of help.
And maybe you'll give her the world by the tail.
Erica, why didn't you ask the fortune teller if we should do this?
Oh, for Pete's sake. Carlotta can't even predict that the sun will rise.
And we can't predict Papa.
Oh, I wish I hadn't come.
Now, you won't say that when it's all over, honey.
Like he's spinning the wheel of fortune. Will it stop on Kate's number? The odds are terrible against her, Joe.
I'll give you big odds. One gets you 20, the wheel spins her number.
It won't. I know it won't.
Oh, now, damn it. We spent all day getting ready for this caper. Here it is time for the big performance. You're both a mess. All right, you want to call it off? Let your old man win hands down? Is that what you want?
No. No, never. Just the sound of the words makes me sick. Thank you for saying them. Put my head back together. All right, Kate. I promise you all over again. Papa won't want you anymore. He won't take you back. Now believe it.
I will. I have to. Now can we please just get it over with?
That's more like it. All right, you all set, Kate? Remember everything you're supposed to do and say now.
Every single thing we rehearsed. If I can just go through with it.
My money's on you, kid. You're your sister's sister.
Oh, I hope I can remember the part about the wings. I like that part.
Let's just run over a couple of things. Princess, when you go into that tent alone, you keep the old man standing right by the entrance. Don't let him too near Kate, huh?
I know.
If he moves toward her, step in between if you have to.
Don't worry.
Kate waits about 2 minutes. Then makes her entrance.
Oh, it'll be the longest 2 minutes in the world.
Well, that's why you wait till I say when. I don't want you jumping the gun. And remember, you're the one that stays close to the entrance.
I will.
And all the time, I'll be right outside.
Ready or not, Papa, here we come.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Show about to begin. Hey, and what a show.
So sorry I kept you waiting, Papa.
Where is Katrine?
She'll be along.
Now, what new trick is this now?
Such a suspicious mind, Papa.
You kept me here cooling my heels while you had her spirited away. But it will do you no good. You will be arrested for kidnapping and forced by the police to tell me where Catherine is.
Simmer down, Papa. None of that will be necessary. Kate is just primping a little. She wants to be pretty for you.
Hello, Papa.
Catherine, you will come home with me this minute. And take off that cape.
It's such a pretty cape, Papa. Red satin and sequins.
Oh, your sister's cheap finery. Take it off at once.
Dear Papa, you sound like a customer at a burlesque show. But I warn you, if Kate takes off the cape, you may not like what you see. She's wearing what I wear in my act. A G-string.
Oh, Catherine, you would not.
You don't believe it, Papa?
No.
Well, then I'll have to show you. I'll spread my cape like wings. Wings for flying. Free as a bird. And you can see if I'm as pretty as Erica. There. Look.
Oh, my God.
Take a good look, Papa.
Catherine.
Yes.
Not you.
Yes, Katrine tattooed like me.
Tattooed all.
No tattooed daughters. What a proud father.
Aren't the roses and sunsets pretty? The flags and the hearts.
Now down that cane.
I'll break her in two for this.
Kate, Russ, get out. Get out. Go to my wagon. I'll finish with Papa.
I'm sorry you don't like it, Papa.
Jody, go with Kate.
Oh, you.
Put down the cane. You won't break me in two either. Kate and I have broken you.
Oh, Katrine.
Katrine tattooed. Katrine as repulsive as you find me. Can you ever bear to look at her again?
No.
Since you don't want her anymore, then she can live with me.
So that is your game. I see now. I see. Want her? No.
So go home to your empty house, and I wish you joy in it.
I do not want her, but I will have her.
What?
I will have my daughter.
You'll take her back the way she is now.
I will take her, and the rest of her life she will be locked away. She's a freak, and freaks should be hidden from the world.
You can't. You can't.
A freak? That is what you have made of your sister. Made ugly what was beautiful. I hope that you are satisfied. That you are said.
Papa! Papa?
Medicine. Pocket.
Your heart. Kate said you had a heart condition.
Pocket. Medicine.
Oh, it's a bad attack, isn't it, Papa? That's very bad.
Erica,
What a shame, because I didn't quite understand what you were saying before you fell down in the sawdust like that. I think you were saying you hope I'm satisfied?
Please.
Oh, Papa, I'm satisfied. I'm very satisfied. That medicine in your pocket, you have to take that to live, don't you? Jody, stay outside. I'm coming out. You stay there. Oh, and Papa, you stay there. As if you could do anything else. I'll be back. Don't you worry. I'll be back.
You all right, Princess?
Oh, yes. Yes, Judy. You go back to Kate. You go back.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter. I'm saying goodbye to Papa, that's all. Go on, Jody. Katie needs you. I don't.
I don't like the way you sound.
You think this is easy? The hardest thing I ever did in my life, but I have to do it alone. Now, will you go?
All right. All right, now go.
Can I do it? Can I? Papa?
Erica,
medicine, yes, I understand. You need it to live. Oh, yes, Papa, I understand that, too. But I don't know that, do I? Nobody ever told me. Oh, Papa, did you ever let Kate and me live? Did you ever give us what we needed? Now, hear this, Papa. If you still have time to wonder how I can do what I will do, I learned it from you, Papa. How could I possibly live with viciousness and evil and hate for 19 years and not have some of it come off on me? Oh, hurry. Yes, I'll hurry and tell Katie you're letting her stay. With your blessing. It is your blessing. Because you have to die so Kate can live. Goodbye, Papa. Goodbye, Papa.
Erica. Katrine.
Tell me again. Say it again. Papa doesn't want me.
He doesn't want
you.
you.
He won't take me away.
No, he won't take you away, now or ever.
He doesn't want me all tattooed.
He doesn't want you.
And you're sure he's gone?
Yes. He is gone.
Poor Papa. He didn't like my sunsets and flags and roses and hearts.
Or truth, or decency, or kindness.
Durka, what's the matter with you? You don't sound a bit happy.
I am. Of course I am, little Kate. It's just that I don't like sunsets and flags and roses either. Not on you. Come on, let's wash all those pictures off.
Oh, what if Papa had come close to me? What if he'd seen they were only painted on?
How could he, Kate? All his life, Papa never saw anything but evil and ugliness. Come on, Katie. Soap, water, a scrub brush, and my little sister is as good as new.
By now, you know it is not my custom to point a moral. But allow me, just this once. Thank you. The moral is this. Erica spoke a profound truth. You cannot live with viciousness and evil and hate and not have some of it come off on you. I'll be back shortly.
There's a fresh new spirit sweeping the land. A free spirit that demands good products. Products that satisfy your sense of good taste and desire for economy. But above all, products that perform. Buick has been touched by this spirit. And this year, our crisply designed, solidly built Buicks will bring joy even to the most demanding of free spirits. The 1975 Buicks, dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone. Stanley Myron Handleton. Did you know you can have a college grad's career without 4 years of college? All you need is a year or two of technical education to work in fields like engineering, health service, automotive design, and forestry. The facts are in a free booklet called 25 Technical Careers in 2 years or less. Just write, Careers, Washington, D.C. 20202.
A public service message of this station and the Advertising Council. My friends, you allowed me to draw a moral from our experience tonight. A rather depressing moral, I'm afraid. So let's look at the other side of the coin, the bright side. If you live with the good, the true, and the beautiful, some of that will come off on you, too. Our cast included Terry Keane, Stephen Schnabel, Rosemary Rice, and Ralph Bell. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
Not there. For God's sake, Charles. Why not? That's the haunted villa. You? Superstitious? About that place. Anyway, it's boarded up. Has been for years. But there's the house now. Maybe we can find some shelter. Oh, the statue. There is the house. The lightning hit it. I can't look. Bright as molten steel. It's gone. Melted. It's never been. I could swear I saw that thing jump and run into the house. The whole villa is lighting up. Maybe it's on fire. Don't be silly. It's lamplight. Look. The door is open.
Welcome, stranger. Come. This is the night to be abroad. Welcome to the Villa di Square. The house of despair.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Listen to a story of greed, innocence, incalculable malevolence, and a mystical, fantastical watch. A watch whose hands held the power of life and death. Our tale is played against the background of the sun-drenched Mediterranean North Shore, around and about the most famous gambling casino of its day. And it takes place some 100 years ago. But the scene is not sun-drenched as our story begins. It's a devil's night out.
Look, John, a driveway lined with statues. Come on. There must be a house where we can seek shelter.
Not there. For God's sake, Charles. Why not? That's the haunted villa.
You superstitious?
About that place. Anyway, it's boarded up. Has been for years.
But there's the house now. Maybe we can find some shelter. There is the house. The light can hit it.
I can't look. It's bright as molten steel.
It's gone. Melted. It's never been.
Let's get out of here, Charles. I could swear I saw that thing jump and run into the house.
The whole villa is lighting up.
Maybe it's on fire.
Don't be silly. It's lamplight. Look, the door is open.
Welcome, stranger. Ah, this is so nice to be abroad. Welcome to the Villa di Despair, the house of despair.
Our mystery drama, The Death Watch, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars J. Gregory. It is sponsored in part by imported Vigna Rosé wine and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One. A black night, a witch's night, orchestrated with a drum of teeming rain. The wind, a wail of violins, the crash of thunder, a choir of cymbals, and the sudden rebirth of a long-dead house, menacingly named the Villa Desespoir, the Castle of Despair. Surely the perfect setting for the strange and terrifying story I shall leave Charles Fleming to tell you in his own words.
For a brief second, which seemed endless, John and I sat frozen into immobility, staring at the tall, thin figure. The bristling black eyebrows and the deep widow's peak only emphasized the height of his brow, the parchment white of his skin. Beside him lurked a misshapen dwarf with an oversized head. Every instinct told me to turn and run, but every external feeling cried out for shelter.
Come on, gentlemen. Cadrash will see to your horses. Cadrash, I will tend the fire. It is well lit by now.
I've got a funny feeling about this, Charles. So have I. But we're armed, and the horses need rest more than we do. You said it was still at least an hour's ride. In this weather. But I don't like his looks. No question. Watch it. The man wants to take the horse.
Don't expect any answers from Cadrash, gentlemen. He is a deaf mute. But you can trust horses to him. They will never have gentler or more loving care. Well, come in out of this warm, chilly rain.
You are most kind to offer us hospitality.
On a night like tonight, it is no more than human decency. Allow me to present myself. I am Count Vladimir Dravanescu.
Honored. I am Charles Fleming, and this is my good friend, Dr. John Potter.
Now, shall we go in the petit salon, or how do you say in English, a parlor? We have started a fire. Yes, I must apologize for the smoke. I've just arrived myself, as you can see, and the wood is as wet as all of us.
By which road did you come?
From Carlo Casino, where I presume you are headed.
Correct. To the home of Colonel Willoughby.
The countryman of yours with the exquisite daughter. Parbleu, one of you must be the lucky man who is affianced to her.
Well, not I, Count. Charles is the one.
So you are the fortunate man.
You lived in these parts long, Count Dravanescu?
Oh, scarcely. As you can tell from my name, I'm Romanian. Oh, I visited here many years ago. Now, as soon as Catrash returns, I can offer you something to eat.
Well, that's kind of you, but I think if the weather will let up, we'll press on to Carlo Casino.
Naturally, you are anxious to rejoin your bride-to-be. But from the looks of things, it will be some time till that will happen. In the meantime, you will make your home in Carlo Casino, Dr. Popple?
No, I have a cabana here for the summer months only because I am both an inveterate sun worshipper and gambler.
A kindred spirit. Then while we are waiting, shall the three of us pass the time by seeing which lady luck will smile upon?
Why not, Charles?
It's 2-1. Then what shall it be? Cards, dice, dominoes? Name your choice. A shilling limit on that?
Fine. No side bet.
The friendliest of games. Now, if you two will pull that gaming table nearer the fire, I will fetch the dice.
What hour have you? I make it about 5:30. Oh, it's dark and gloomy enough to be midnight. Why do they call this place the Villa of Despair? Just one of those local shockers. They say the man who built it 200 or 300 years ago was an alchemist. The bronze statues which you saw lining the drive were all put up there during his occupancy. Those were bloody times, and people dropped out of sight very easily. A legend grew that these statues were his failures. Failures? You mean people believed he was trying to turn the human body into gold? And bronze was the closest he got? What rot. What happened to the unsuccessful alchemist? He just disappeared one day as if the earth had opened up and swallowed him. The villa was bought and sold apparently over the years, then later rented. But all the owners or lessors reported the groaning of a man in torment all night long, from midnight to sunrise. Nonsense that people believe. But our host is coming back. I watched the Count as we played a desultory game of dice with nobody particularly winners or losers. During our game, I had been conscious of a faint, faraway chime of the 3/4 hour. And now, suddenly, I was hearing it again. With a start, he removed from his vest pocket the most beautiful watch I have ever seen. The case made of chased gold set with precious gems.
6 o'clock. My little friend reminds me he must be wound. Time is of the essence, eh?
Which reminds me it is for us, too. Whether or no, I have a lady I love too well to keep waiting. And the weather has slackened. You'll be with her within the hour.
Fortunate man. I envy you.
Oh, my darling. My blessed darling Charles. Oh, thank God you're with me again.
Claire, beloved, if it hadn't been for your mother's death, we would already have been together always.
Don't.
It was clumsy of me. I didn't...
No, darling. It isn't Mother that troubles me. It's Papa. He's become a different man.
How?
Well, it's all mixed up with Mother's death and his own lack of interest in life and the evil that surrounds all this beauty like a blight.
Evil?
The gambling fever. It's a sickness. Father is at the casino every night, wagering wildly and stupidly. I'm almost glad that Count Dravanescu bought the old Villa de Despair. Although I must admit, the place and the owner give me the creeps.
Yes. For all his charm, there's something uncanny about him. But why are you glad?
Well, the Count and Papa play chess. That's scarcely a gambling game. And probably now that the weather is cleared, Papa will be off right after dinner to the Count's villa. Oh, Charles, I've got so much to tell you. Oh, well, I guess for now we'd better go back and join Papa for the meal. Charles, kiss me first.
Do I have to be asked?
Oh, I hope never. But these days I have such a strange, chill foreboding in me. I need to be sure of your love so desperately.
Claire's mother had died 4 months ago, just before our planned wedding. Naturally, it had to be postponed. And it was not surprising that Mr. Willoughby, plagued by the rheumatism and now the loss of his wife, had fled to the Mediterranean to try to recuperate. What was shocking and ominous for Claire's and my happiness was what I watched in the following weeks. Claire's father had become a compulsive, obsessive gambler. Our invitations to Villa des Espoirs, in spite of Claire's and my feelings of revulsion for the Count, were always a welcome relief. Till this one particular evening. Claire and I had walked out to the patio, high over the blue Mediterranean, as the Count and her father started to play chess. But by the time we returned, the game had become backgammon.
Double. That is 16. You don't have to accept. Your position is virtually hopeless.
Life is never hopeless, old friend, as long as you have it. I accept the double. A 5 and a 2. You have me blocked. Perhaps I was a fool to accept the double.
What does it matter? It's only a game, as I said. My dice. On the pair of 5s I just rolled, I must double again.
32, and the odds are insuperable. I would have to be superhuman to win. Wouldn't I?
I doubt if even the Lord's help could bring you through. Will you concede?
I suppose I haven't mentioned yet that I am a mathematician and a recognized, although amateur, manipulator of cards. I am also an expert on odds under any circumstances. And what I watched happen to my future father-in-law in that simple game of backgammon was beyond all possibility or chance.
Double 6s, and that clears the board for me. What bad luck. Any other throw for you except that one deuce would have given you the game. And the stakes were ridiculously high. Shall we just forget it?
No. As an Englishman and a man of honor, I pay my debts. How much do you reckon it is in English pounds?
At our original stake, about 150,000.
Damn. I didn't follow that. I can't cover that in cash.
No need.
There's every need. I pay my debts. You will have it once I sell my house.
But, Papa, you can't do that. We have to live.
I'm ashamed. I had no care if I destroyed myself. But I had no thought of hurting you.
No, there is really no need for agony. The debt could be satisfied without any harm financially whatsoever. If you are determined to pay.
I am determined to pay.
I don't see why it's all so silly. I mean, it's just a game. And
Claire!
Yes, Papa?
I'm asking you to leave us alone.
Yes, Papa.
We'll be in the salon.
Now, sir, what is your proposition?
You have only one possession I covet, sir. Your daughter. I think I can make her far more happy than an untried boy with no established future. If you would give me her hand, or the opportunity to court her openly, why then, it would be I who were completely in your debt.
A bargain. Ridiculous today. That could never be struck, let alone even suggested. But 100 years ago? not only possible and frequent, but one to which all parties, by the role of society, were honor-bound to accept. I'll return shortly with Act Two. Of course, it's incredible to us today that less than a century ago, parents owned their children almost as slaves. And the children accepted that fact, especially if they happened to be girls. Still, with parents who were reasonable human beings, even under the fashion of the day, most of the young people were not tested in their allegiance, except under unusual conditions, such as an ashamed and trapped Colonel Willoughby finds himself. For obvious reasons, I was not present when the Colonel told Claire of his bargain with the Count. Had I been, none of the rest of this story might have happened.
I won't, Papa. I won't. You can't make me. You don't have to pay this debt. The Count himself told you.
It's a matter of honor.
Well, I don't think it's that at all. Charles thinks that the Count cheated you.
You can't cheat at backgammon, my dear.
Yes, you can. Well, what did Charles call it? If you switch the dice.
Now, even if he could have changed his, as far ahead as I was, it was impossible for him to win without any bad luck with my dice.
But Charles says that he could have palmed your dice.
Charles says. What does he know about it?
Well, he just graduated ahead of his College of Mathematics.
Yeah, to be a teacher. A poor enough living at best. But enough. I must pay him the money.
Well, sell the house. But don't sell me, Papa.
I have to think of your future. The Count is well born, rich. He is a much-traveled, brilliant man who can introduce you to a life of ease and comfort.
I don't want a life of ease and comfort. I want a life of love and happiness. Oh, no, Papa. No, there's no way that you can make it.
Hush, Claire, beloved. I intend to honor my debt. I can do no less. So that means I can leave you no dowry. I think we owe it to Charles to let him know that.
Papa, Charles and I don't need anything from you. We can take care of ourselves. Charles has a teaching job waiting, and we don't need much as long as we have each other.
It's midday. I think I'd take a rest in the study before lunch. Go join your intended, darling. I've interfered enough with your holiday.
After Claire had come out and told me of her interview with her father, I had taken some provisions down to the small day sailor and was returning back to the house to pick up Claire and the picnic she had been preparing, when the shot came directly from the house, from the area of the study. I started running immediately, and as I reached the terrace, I heard... What happened?
He shot himself.
Let me see, Claire.
No, I'm afraid. Is he...
No. His pulse is still quite strong. And he's breathing.
Yeah.
Don't let him move till I get a doctor.
No.
Thank God John isn't far off. Here, use my handkerchief and my scarf to stem the blood.
Yeah.
Use pressure.
I will.
Try to keep him from bleeding any more than you can.
Just hurry. Hurry.
How is he, John?
He's alive. He's lost quite a bit of blood, but that's not serious.
But he's alive.
Yes.
Should he be removed to hospital?
I don't think that's necessary or even advisable under the circumstances.
What do you mean?
The bullet entered the throat, passed through the mouth, and came out near the temple.
Don't try to hide anything, John. We've got to know sooner or later.
In my opinion, your father will recover, but there's been brain damage.
Oh.
Not unlike an apoplectic stroke. I'd be less than honest if I didn't tell you there'll be a high degree of paralysis. In the left side, at the least. Your father will be fortunate if he can ever walk again.
Is that all? Don't hold back.
At the best. He'll need someone to nurse and care for him the balance of his life. I'm sorry, but it's safer to face the truth.
I know John. He's my closest friend. And I thought he was being cautious. But he was telling the exact truth. It was soon enough obvious that Colonel Willoughby would be a helpless invalid for the rest of his life. And to care and house him, there seemed only one normal solution.
There just isn't any other way out, Charles. Papa has other debts. The house is heavily mortgaged, and even its sale won't help much. Papa is going to need the kind of care that you and I can't provide for him.
I'd argue that. And for sure, there's one thing. You are not going to marry the Count.
What else can I do? Although he can't find any way to say it. Papa feels that he's made a marriage contract.
I don't understand. I never will. Your father brought all this on himself.
Well, he is my father, and I can't abandon him. I'm writing this, my darling, because I am not brave enough to tell you in person. I have signed a marriage contract with the Count that will provide for my father's care for the rest of his life. For 20 years, he has taken care of me. I cannot shirk my responsibilities to offer him the same in return. I am sending this to you by John's hand. Please, for both our sakes, let it be goodbye, for there is nothing left for us but tears. But oh, I love you so, and always will.
I'll be damned if I'll accept it, John.
What else can you do?
I could shoot the Count.
What would that serve?
Well, then Claire and I could be married, and we'd take care of her father.
We've been over that. It wouldn't work, Charles. Even if you weren't arrested and guillotined.
Well, there must be some way out. I could go to the Count and beg him.
For what? To give up marrying a woman he desires and also settle 30 or 40,000 pounds for the care and maintenance of her half-alive father?
Well, at this point, anything's worth a chance.
I'm afraid this is an impossible gamble. Far better that...
Gamble? Gamble, of course. That's the answer. Have you a pack of cards?
Yes. They're in the drawer beside you.
I'll take a new deck. Open it. Shuffle the cards. Remember I said I would play anything but cards when the Count suggested that friendly dice game?
Yes?
Well, let me show you why. I could take all night to shuffle these cards, but this will suffice to illustrate. Cut them. Cut them as many times as you want.
Well, what's the point?
Do as I say.
Very well.
This has always been a hobby with me. Up till now. You know the game of poker?
I should. I've lost enough at it.
You needn't have. If I'd been dealing. What do you want? 2 pair? Full house? Flush? Just call it.
You can deal me anything you want?
Provided I can stack the deck.
But that's cheating.
What did you think the Count was doing in the backgammon game he won that ruined the Colonel?
Can you prove it?
Only by playing his game. I couldn't guess his mechanical means, and he won't be able to guess mine.
Bad luck that your horse should throw a shoe, but Kadrash will treat his hoof and have him reshot as good as new. In the meantime, what can I offer you, gentlemen? Sherry, brandy?
I'm not much for drinking by daylight. How about a game of chance to while the time away?
Perhaps, if these stakes are interesting enough.
I think I can make them as interesting as you want.
For example?
If I win, you tear up Colonel Willoughby's IOU and the contract of marriage to Claire.
And if you lose, I give you my life.
Charles, wait.
What on earth would I do with your life, Mr. Fleming?
As long as I live, you have no hope of winning Claire's love. With me out of the way is your only chance.
Ah, now you tempt me. What is the game?
I suggest bluff, or poker, if you prefer to call it that.
With a third hand?
No, John can be the arbiter, or my second, if you wish. You have Kadosh for yours.
It begins to sound more and more like a duel.
If you would prefer that.
Oh, no, by all means. I wish you no harm. And perhaps you should have your chance. But suppose I refuse?
Then I will kill you first, before myself.
Dear me, such a fire-breather, pistol in hand. I tell you what, I accept all your conditions, but add one of my own. To the winner goes this watch. The same time we met before, it sounded its delicate chimes. Win all, lose all. Your beloved, your father-in-law's medical care of this watch as against your life. Oh, the more fool I, but I never can resist the wager.
Poker is a game of nerves and minor bluffs, of risks against odds, of learning to sit back and wait, of finding the big hand and losing or winning. If there is no cheating, I played from the beginning for the big kill. My life against all the cash the Count had, plus his papers, plus his exquisite watch with its lovely musical chime. Then, at last, the big hand. The Count sitting pat with the unbeatable flush in spades. I had dealt him. Cards?
I play these.
A dealer takes two. Your bet.
10,000 pounds.
Meet you, and raise the same. Back and forth we raised. It no longer matters the sum we arrived at. The Count broke first and called me. Diamond flush, royal.
By the devil. You had the nerve to draw two cards to that against my straight flush, 9 to king?
I was gambling for my life.
So you win. You have your girl, your freedom to marry, and the watch.
I don't want to accept it.
I know, you must. That is the game as it is played. But I must wind it. How stupid of me. It is no longer my duty. You wind it, sir.
Is that necessary at the moment?
Since you own it, decide for yourself. Open the bag.
I opened it. Like all those old hunter watches, after you bent back the rear flange, the works were still covered by a second gold door. On this one were engraved the words, "Wind me at 6, or before the sun sets, or by 12 that same day, your own sun sets."
Which of us is loser or winner, Mr. Fleming, eh? You have your girl. But have a care for your life.
Curiouser and curiouser, said Alice in Wonderland. Stranger and stranger, we can say, as this story turns and twists. Who is Count Dravanescu really? Does the watch have some magic power? Or is superstition enough to create that power in the lovely jeweled watch with its golden hands? I'll return shortly with Act 3. Every watch that runs, every clock that ticks, tells away the hours of a man's life. But none so specifically as this curious chronometer claims to, if it is really dangerous. Certainly, as Charles reports back joyfully to Claire, nothing is further from his mind than the watch, or that it might have any significance in his future.
I feel as if I feel as if someone reprieved me from the Bastille. Just before my personal tumbrel was about to roll.
You're sure you don't harbor any secret desire for Count Dravanescu?
Oh, what would make you say that?
A slightly guilty conscience.
You?
I had to run my own bluff to get him into the card game.
But you offered your life for me.
My life would have meant nothing to him. Except... Well, I had to say that as long as I was alive, he could never hope for your love or regard.
Which was only the truth.
I hope.
Oh, I want you to believe.
I believe. But... Well, there's something about this man. You have to sense that somehow he has enormous powers, enormous resources.
But he can't touch us now, Charles.
I cheated the Count, you know.
He cheated my father, you said.
Yes, but two wrongs don't make a right. I'm sentimentalist enough to wish I could have won you in fair battle.
Oh, you didn't have to win me, Charles. I was, am, and always will be yours. Nothing can interfere with that. Charles, just to make sure, will you do something for me?
Anything.
Well, you've already proved that. But just once more, will you drive me out to the villa? I want to talk to the Count myself.
There's no need for that.
You're not afraid I'll change my mind?
Of course not, but I only sense that any contact with Count Vladimir Dravanescu is fraught with a kind of inexpressible danger. Feeling like a superstitious fool, I agreed to drive her out the following afternoon. I dressed carefully and scrupulously for the encounter, forgetting no bauble that would suggest that I was more well-to-do than was actually the case, and not forgetting a pistol, because I had no trust in the Count. The one thing I forgot, or who knows, I was spelled into forgetting, was the watch.
So, this is the famous, or should I say infamous, Villa des Espoirs.
Look at the bronze statues.
I'm looking. Oh, they're so lifelike.
Hope that old legend John tells isn't true.
Look, Charles, one of the statues is missing.
That's the one that was struck by lightning first night John and I were here.
Well, let's forget that for a moment. Charles?
Yes, dear?
Will you let me see the Count alone? I think I can make an easier peace between us.
Whatever was said between them left Claire happy and released by the time she returned to me. I suppose he duped her as thoroughly as he duped me, by consuming time. It wasn't until we were leaving that I realized that it was almost 6. It was a late sunset that evening. On the way back, Claire couldn't understand my reckless haste.
Charles, we have to drive so far.
What time is it?
Just before 6.
Damn.
What's the matter?
Oh, just something foolish. You know this road. Can we make it back home before 6?
No, not a chance. Well, why does it matter? Father has his nerves. Why do we have to hurry so dangerously?
On the way home, I should have told Claire about the watch and its special chimes, which musically told the hour and the legend about its winding, and the 6 hours of life that were left to the one who owned it and forgot to wind it before 6 o'clock. But it seemed such a ridiculous fancy that I decided to forget about it. Except suddenly I was assailed by an unreasonable pain in my stomach.
What is it, darling?
I don't know, dear. Just a sort of a cramp.
But you're in pain.
Not anymore. I must have thrown a muscle out of alignment for a moment. I'm fine now. How soon will we be back at the house?
Oh, not about 15 minutes or less.
Good. I couldn't wait to get home to rewind the watch in the hope of gaining some relief. For instead of just my former slight twinge of superstition about the watch's deadly warning, the pain and the sort of creeping paralysis that seemed to be affecting me had changed my mind. I no longer considered that malicious message a joke in bad taste, but perhaps the literal truth. That damnable watch. When I snatched it out of my bureau drawer, it was running. The hands at 6:30. And the chimes, which had sounded so sweet and gentle before now, rang in my ears stridently as if tolling my approaching death. I tried to wind it, but the stem was frozen as I was becoming myself. The agonizing pain was spreading out like some evil flower, and already I felt like a corpse with rigor mortis setting in. Pocketing the watch, I went first to see John.
There's no particular symptom I can put my finger on, except I don't like your reflexes.
What's the matter with them?
Oh, they're sluggish. Your pulse and heartbeats are a little slower than normal. I'd like to put you in the hospital for observation.
No.
Certainly by tomorrow, if you don't improve.
If I don't improve by tomorrow, I'll be dead. There's only one person who can help me now. You cheated me into winning that watch from you.
My dear Mr. Fleming, you were the cheat. You cold-decked me.
You knew?
Young man, you are talking to a professional. You were an amateur. Oh, an accomplished one, but still...
I've never cheated in a game of cards in my life before. But I felt I could against you, since I know you cheated Claire's father in that backgammon game.
Certainly I did. All is fair in love and war, correct?
But why did you let me win?
You told me that yourself. To get rid of that watch.
Well, you must help me. Call off the charm or whatever it is.
That is beyond my power.
And I'm doomed. There's nothing I can do. But at least, whether I'm dead or alive, you will never have Claire. Thank God I saved her from you.
So you did. Alas, poor child, she will mourn you, Mr. Fleming. I have no wish to hurt her, so perhaps I can offer you some help.
What? How?
I have the power to give you an extension of 24 hours.
What good is that?
Time enough to go to Monsieur Jardinier, the jeweler, first thing tomorrow morning. Have him act as your agent to sell this quickly. Make the price low enough so that someone will be sure to take it as a bargain.
I hope I'll last till tomorrow. It's almost 7 o'clock. I came to tell you dinner was almost ready. You still up to it?
Oh, of course I do. But first, Charles, now that Father is... We're not going to wait to get married, are we?
I'm ready tonight. Tomorrow at the latest.
Oh, well, I may need a little more time than that. But I'm glad. Because now I can give you your wedding present. Oh, I'm so pleased. I just found it today at Monsieur Jardinet's. And it's such a bargain. Oh, I hope you don't have one like it.
What is it?
It's a watch. Look, how lovely. And listen to that lovely chime. Just like Big Ben. And then, after, it'll strike the hour and the...
What is it? What's...
Just a pain. It'll go.
Claire, did you wind the watch at 6 o'clock?
No. Monsieur Jardinier said it was wound tightly, and it would run until tomorrow. Oh, Charles, what are you doing? Put me down. Where are we going?
Villa de Espoir and the Count. Pray God he has a little kindness left in him.
You two little fools to deny me what I want. Whatever I cannot have, I destroy.
You refuse to help Claire. Extend her the same time at least you extended me.
I not only refuse, I am going to revel in watching your beloved who dare to turn me down, freeze in immobility, like all the other statues that line the driveway.
At least I can deny you that.
Charles, no! Oh,
Charles! No bullet can touch me, Mr. Fleming. No human agency.
Then kill me with her. I will not live without Claire.
I will be glad to oblige you. After you have watched your beloved die in agony.
You devil!
The Antichrist. That's who he is. But God is on our side. You said no human agency could touch you. But they say God listens to a virgin's prayer. I call on him to strike you dead.
A bolt burst through the window, its jagged blade entering the Count's head, down through his feet, and into the floor. He was one molten blaze of heat from which we had to turn away. And by the time we turned back, he was gone. And with him, the watch and all Claire's pain. Already a raging fire had started, and together we fled to Villa Desespoir. Nor would we have stopped our headlong rush, except for one astounding sight, which has remained in the back of our minds, serving to make sharper and greater our thanks to God for the long and happy marriage we still enjoy. Look, Claire.
Where?
The empty statue base. Empty no longer. John used to sneak in here as a child. No wonder the Count looked familiar to him. Frozen forever again in bronze was Count Dravanescu, his body twisted as if in some inner agony, his face seamed with pain, and the deadly watch in his hand.
Villa Desespoir burned to the ground that same night, and the property was disposed of for taxes. All of the statues were sold, except the one of the Count, which could not find a buyer. And so he stands alone in his eternal torture, watch in hand, waiting for a reprieve which will never come again. I'll be back shortly. The only pity of today's tale, I suppose, is that the Count Vladim Dravanescu, as he called himself, could only have been a minor demon. What a pity it wasn't the head man himself. But, as all of us can plainly see every day, the devil's work is never done. I'm sure we'll be meeting him in one form or another in other tales, but then perhaps we shouldn't object too much. He does put a lot of excitement into our tales. Our cast included Jay Gregory, Marion Seldes, Robert Dryden, and Ian Martin. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
You feel no pain.
No pain.
Very well. I am going to perform a minor surgical operation now. You will feel no pain, of course. A simple incision at the base of the skull. There will be no bleeding. Now, what I am inserting, Sarah, is a very small device which your body will in no way reject. It is in every way compatible. By means of this device, it is better you know this, Sarah, although you will not be aware of it later. Through this device, we shall be able to read your thoughts and participate in them, guide them. This will be possible at great distances, light years, actually.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre.
CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. I hope you're ready for a journey into the bizarre, into the very, very strange, for that's where we're going. A round-trip journey, of course, but one we promise you won't forget. Sarah and David Hughes have just finished dinner and have taken their coffee out to the patio, where dusk is coming in behind a lovely sunset, and the world seems bathed in serenity. But beware of peaceful places at peaceful times, things change. Sometimes suddenly.
David.
You know, I was almost asleep.
David, what is that up there?
What's what? Up where?
Up there, in the sky, there's funny lights.
This is a jet, I guess. We'll be hearing it in a few seconds.
A jet making a circle of light? They don't come in from that direction. They're that fast either, David. It looks as if it's heading straight forward.
Nonsense. Of course it isn't heading straight forward.
David! A flying saucer.
Oh, come off it, Sarah.
An unidentified flying object. We actually saw it.
Sarah, it was nothing of the sort. It was simply... Well, it was...
Can you identify it?
Well, no, not offhand.
An unidentified flying object. David, we've made a sighting.
Our mystery drama, The Sighting, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Fielden Farrington and stars Kim Hunter. It is sponsored in part by... UFO sightings, although they are remarkable, are not uncommon. There have been, who's to say, thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands, if you include those that have gone unreported. Of course, some people poo-poo them as optical illusions, or weather balloons, or light reflections on clouds, or even just plain imagination. But others, many others, take them quite seriously and would like very much to know what and why and possibly even who they are. Sarah and David have certainly seen something, though they don't agree about what it was.
You know the trouble with you, honey? You let your imagination run away with you. You see a funny light in the sky and wham, it's a flying saucer.
Well, you can't say it wasn't a flying saucer. You don't know what it was any more than I do.
Sarah, when you can't explain something a little out of the ordinary, you don't pounce on the most unlikely explanation you can find and close your mind to all the others?
Look who's talking about closed minds.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm a little bit conservative. Bankers get that way, I'm told.
And man, are you ever a banker?
Well, don't knock it. It buys a lot of goodies.
No contest. I think I'll go next door and ask Bea and Harry if they saw it. Want to come along?
So what? Oh, yeah, the thing. Sarah, I really wish you wouldn't do that.
Why not, for heaven's sake?
Well, I'd just as soon it didn't get around. I mean, that we saw... Well, the first vice president of a bank doesn't see flying saucers. He just doesn't, Sarah.
Okay. The first vice president didn't see it. He's as blind as a bat.
Yeah.
But his wife saw it.
Sarah,
look...
I don't want you to talk about it.
How do we know what they are? How do we know what they're doing here? What the purpose is? How can we be sure that they don't mean us some kind of harm, David? I think we ought to report it.
No. You're not to say a word about this to anyone. Now, look, honey, old man Ellsworth is talking about retiring again, and this time J.D. thinks he means it. And if he does go, J.D. will almost certainly move up to chairman of the board, and that leaves the presidency open. I'm the first vice president. But can't you see, Sarah?
Look, I think that's wonderful, David. You know I do, but I can't see what it has to do with...
Well, I just told you. I'll have to ask you to take my word for it. I want you to promise not to say a word about this thing we saw, not to anybody.
Anybody home? Oh, hi, Bea. You got any shopping to do this morning? I don't think so, no. How about a cup of coffee? Okay. They're supposed to have some fresh whiting at Avery's today. Doesn't David have a big thing about whiting? Yes, David has a big thing about whiting, but he's more likely to get cold stew and leftover parsnips. Oh? Garnished with arsenic. Bad one, huh? Honestly, Bea, you ought to thank your lucky stars you're not married to a banker.
Oh, I don't know. You ever try living with a man who was in wholesale pharmaceuticals?
Give him whiting. That's my advice. He can't eat and quarrel at the same time. Did you and David see that thing come over last night? Come over? Fly over, you know. Looked like a flying saucer to me. But Harry said it was a jet with some fancy new kind of lights or something. I never heard a jet sound like that.
No, I guess we must have missed it. Doesn't Harry believe in flying saucers?
Wouldn't believe in one if it landed smack on top of him. We still playing bridge tonight?
As far as I know, it's your house. Want me to bring anything?
Money. It's our turn to win. You want me to get some whiting for you if Abel has it?
Oh, would you mind? Not much in the mood.
Sure, I'll bring it over later. I'll tell you one thing. I don't ever want to fly in a jet that sounds the way that thing last night sounded.
Good morning, David. Oh, morning, J.D. You busy right now? Nothing top priority, no.
Well, come on into my office. I've got some news for you.
Sure thing.
You, read this thing this morning?
Oh, Times. Well, I glanced through it before I left the house.
A couple of people out your way claim they saw a flying saucer.
Oh, I read that, yes. One of the fellows belongs to my club, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes next time he goes into that locker room.
You know, I don't understand people. I just can't figure them out. Fella sees something up there he never saw before, and he goes running around like a chicken with its head off, yelling, "Flying saucer!" Well, do you think he is some kind of aeronautics expert or something? Sit down, David.
Thanks.
What would you say if I told you old Ellsworth finally made up his mind?
Well, I'd say congratulations, J.D.
He's retiring the end of the year. Made up his mind yesterday afternoon, apparently. Plans to announce it sometime later today.
Congratulations, J.D.
Oh, no. It's premature, my boy. Premature. Board has to vote on the new chairman. There's no guarantee they'll pick me. I can be pretty crusty sometimes, you know. Made some enemies.
That's your year's salary.
Oh, yeah. Bankers don't gamble now. Had to vote on the new president, too, of course, but, you've got me in there lobbying for you.
Thanks, J.D.
Ah, nonsense. Best man for the job. Would be anyway if he didn't sit around loafing all day in the boss's office.
Well, I guess I'd better get back to work.
I guess you had. And, David.
Yes, J.D.
Try not to see any flying saucers. Wouldn't help a bit.
Sarah Hughes. Sarah, I know you're in here. There's nothing to be afraid of. I must speak to you.
How did you do that?
Do what, Sarah?
When you talk, your lips don't move. Well, anyway, I couldn't see them move. It sounded as if you were talking through that little black box strapped on your chest.
Yes, you are quite right. You see, we don't have any vocal equipment.
We? Who's we?
We come from a very long way off.
Like Mars?
No, much farther. Another galaxy altogether.
I told David. I told him.
Yes, we sensed that you were sympathetic.
Then what do you use? Mental telepathy?
That's what you would call it, yes.
And the box?
I think into the box, you might say. It comes out English. Other languages, too, of course, depending upon the setting. I'm glad you are not frightened.
If I were, I wouldn't let you know.
Look, where you come from, do you just walk into strangers' houses?
I am very sorry, but I had to speak to you. It's really quite urgent.
About what?
We need your help.
To do what? Take over the earth?
You mustn't say that. You mustn't think it. We're on a friendly mission. My colleagues and I, we're what you might call a scouting party. We must know more about your planet before we can be sure that it is safe to... We want to help you.
We're doing all right.
Are you? Really, Sarah?
Look, what's your name? You keep using mine. Don't you think I should know yours?
I have no... We do not use names in the sense you mean. I have a designation, of course, but there is no way to convey it to you.
It's pretty weird. And how did you find out what my name is?
We were able to pick it up. We get very dim readings from your minds. Actually, yours is the clearest we've been able to pick up so far. We need someone to cooperate with us so that we can learn more.
And that's what you want me to do?
Yes, Sarah, it is.
Well, come back tomorrow.
I don't understand.
I'll have to talk to my husband about
That is exactly what you must not do. Do you understand me? You must not consult your husband. You're not to tell him even that you have spoken with me. I want you to understand that very clearly. He is not to know that we have contacted you.
Then you'd better just go back onto your flying saucer and fly away. I'm not sure I want to speak to you again.
You will, though, Sarah. You will.
You don't believe me, do you?
Of course I believe you, honey. Have I ever accused you of lying to me?
All the same, you don't believe me.
What did he look like, this man you saw?
Well, he wasn't green, if that's what you mean. He didn't have tentacles or flippers or any of that. His hair was kind of coppery and funny. More like chicken down than hair. I didn't notice the color of his eyes. His face seemed all right, except that his ears were flat against his head. He was tall and too skinny to look healthy. By our standards, that is.
Mm-hmm. How was he dressed?
Ordinary, except for a box he had sort of taped onto his chest. Like brown slacks and a kind of yellow shirt, open at the throat. But the clothes didn't look right on him. You don't believe one word of this, do you?
Now, Sarah, I haven't said I don't believe you. All I'm saying is that you're tired and overwrought.
And seeing things. Look, I'm not sure I want to play bridge tonight. Sit there all evening being humored. And, well, I'm not at all sure I want to do it.
Look, I'll tell you what. You trot upstairs and take a little rest. Now, wait, then, just let me finish. You are tired. You are overwrought. You don't deny that, do you?
Well...
So why shouldn't you take a little rest? Now, what's wrong with that? And when you get up, if you don't feel like playing bridge, we won't play bridge, okay? Doesn't that sound fair enough?
Well, all right.
Fine. Right now. You close the bedroom door and see if you can't actually sleep. Will you do that for me?
Okay. But if I did see that man and talk to him. I really did.
The whole thing an hallucination? Let's not be too sure it wasn't just because we heard it ourselves. After all, we were primarily interested in what Sarah heard, weren't we? Or thought she heard. Let's not rule out the possibility that we were hallucinating along with her. Perhaps we'll learn the truth about that when I return shortly with Act 2. David and Sarah had spent the evening playing bridge with Bea and Harry Vincent. But their minds haven't been on the game. Sarah's is more on the events of the day just ending. How often do you speak with a man from outer space? Now the game and the evening have finally come to an end.
David, my friend, we ought to do this more often.
Yeah.
You owe us, you can check my arithmetic if you want it. You owe us $3.76.
With the cards you two held, how could you lose?
Oh, come on, don't grouse, David. About 10 more nights like this, and maybe we could get even.
Oh, it was all my fault. I told you I didn't feel like playing bridge tonight, Dave.
Oh, forget it. You were no worse than I was.
Well, after all, it's only a game.
Yeah, said he, tucking away his winnings. I wonder if I drank $3.76 worth of beer.
Well, there's more out in the kitchen. Come on out. Maybe you can break even.
Now, what are those two cooking up?
Oh, I don't know.
Is the fight still going on? With you and David, I mean? Left over from last night. You haven't been acting like yourselves at all tonight, either of you.
Oh, it's one of those things. I guess it happens to everybody. David, don't you think we ought to go now? You have to work tomorrow.
Okay, honey. He's a good man, you're David. You don't have to worry about that.
David? What did Harry mean when we were leaving? Who's a good man?
Oh, honey, turn the light off, will you? I'm dead.
It's something to do with me, isn't it?
Okay, you'll have to know anyway. I asked Harry for the name of a good psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist?
Yes, earlier. I called the doctor before we left, too. Told him it was an emergency. I got an appointment for you for tomorrow morning. But it is an emergency. You don't realize how... I knew you were going to be angry. Sarah?
I'm not angry. If he's any good, maybe he'll be able to convince you I'm not seeing things.
Sarah, I've got to get to the office on time this morning, today of all days, but I'll meet you at the doctor's office. Now, your appointment is for 11 o'clock. You won't forget it, will you?
Look, you don't have to be there if you have a busy day. I can handle it alone.
No, nothing of the sort. And after the session, we'll have some lunch. Someplace fancy, huh? It'll be all right, Sarah. You'll see.
Oh, it's you again.
Sarah, I must speak to you.
Do you know that you may very well be nothing but a figment of my imagination?
I think that you are tired. Did you sleep well last night?
What do you think? And wouldn't a figment of my imagination at least move his lips a little when he talks?
I can see that you are very sleepy. Oh, yes, very sleepy.
Look, I didn't ask you in.
You are almost too sleepy to stand, aren't you? Here. Why don't you sit here? You'll be much more comfortable.
Well...
That's better, isn't it? You're able to relax now. Relax and rest. Relax and rest. Float and sleep. You are asleep now, aren't you? Yes. Fast asleep. You will do as I tell you.
Yes, I will do as you tell me.
Good. Pinch your arm, Sarah. With your right hand, pinch your left arm. No, harder than that. You can feel nothing. You feel no pain.
No pain.
Very well. I am going to perform a minor surgical operation now. You will feel no pain, of course. A simple incision at the base of the skull. There will be no bleeding. Now, what I am inserting, Sarah, is a very small device which your body will in no way reject. It is in every way compatible. By means of this device, it is better you know this, Sarah, although you will not be aware of it later. Through this device, we shall be able to read your thoughts and participate in them, guide them. This will be possible at great distances, light years, actually. You are now sutured, what you would call sutured. There is no wound, no scar. You felt no pain, did you, Sarah?
No pain.
And yet your own doctors would find this type of surgery very difficult, if indeed at all possible to perform. Now, do you know what I have just done?
Yes.
Tell me.
You planted a device at the base of my skull so that you can read my thoughts and guide them.
Yes. You must listen carefully to what I tell you now. Do you understand, Sarah?
I must listen carefully.
You will emerge from your hypnotic state when you hear the sound of my vehicle leaving. Is that clear?
Yes. When I hear your spaceship fly away.
You will not remember having seen me today at all. Please repeat that for me.
I will not remember having seen you at all today.
And all you will remember about my visit yesterday is that you made it up as a joke. It did not really happen.
I didn't see you yesterday. It was a joke I made up.
Very well. When I leave the room, you will fall into a deep sleep. When you hear our vehicle moving away, you will awaken feeling as though you have a long, healing night's rest. Is all that clear?
It's all clear.
You busy, Dave? Harry! No, come on in. Aren't you a little out of your territory?
Well, yeah, I am. I knocked off and came over here because, Bea called me a few minutes ago to say she's seen the damn thing, too.
Seen what?
The saucer, the flying saucer.
Oh, Bea saw it?
Yeah, says she did. Says it was hovering there right over your backyard with a door open, like practically the whole side of a ship, she said. And a kind of stairway coming right down onto your lawn.
Come on, not Bea, too. What are they trying to do to us?
Well, to tell you the truth, Dave, I don't think Bea was putting it on. She can't lie worth a nickel, and she sounded scared, really scared. And, anyway, that's not all.
For Pete's sake.
She'd started out shopping, see, and forgot to take a list with her, so that's why she went back. I mean, that's how she happened to see the thing in the first place.
All right.
So, she went back in the house and was watching through the window, and I swear, Dave, this is what she said. A tall, skinny man came walking out of your back door and went up the stairway and into the saucer. Then it made that crazy whooshing noise like we heard the other night. I did hear that, Dave. I honestly did. And it didn't really sound much like a jet. Well, anyway, it made that noise and took off. Like 1,000 miles a minute, Bea says.
You think it's true?
Well, unless Bea's blown her mind, too. She said she wanted to go right over to your place and see if Sarah was all right, but she was afraid to. Yeah, I think it might be true, Dave. I think, anyway, we ought to go out there and see. Oh, there's Bea. She must have been waiting at our front door.
You'd never get here, you two.
Is Sarah all right, Bea?
I haven't seen her. I can't help it. I was scared. You didn't see that awful-looking thing just hanging up there over your backyard, or the weirdo that came out of your house. Can we go in now? I don't mind as long as I'm with you.
Yeah, okay.
I don't suppose one of them's still in there. I mean, since the thing took off. It wouldn't go away and leave one of them behind, would it?
I'm still not ready to believe.
You'd believe it if you'd seen it.
Sarah?
Yes, David? Oh, I thought you were going to meet me at the doctor's office. Well, what's this, a delegation?
Are you all right, Sarah?
Why wouldn't I be all right?
Sarah, did anything happen this morning?
Not a thing. Not unless you count me falling asleep, sitting bolt upright in a straight kitchen chair. I really must have been dead on my feet.
The man from the flying saucer didn't show up?
Oh, come on. Don't you think we've had about enough of that nonsense?
Nonsense?
Sarah, I saw him. I saw him come walking right out your back door, plain as day, and get into his saucer and go. I saw that, Sarah. I really did.
Oh, please, let's not anymore. So I made up a silly story. Now, I'm sorry I did. I never dreamed you'd all take me so seriously.
Now, wait a minute. There's something wrong here. You were taking it seriously enough last night. Now, don't try to tell me you weren't.
It was just a joke, David.
Joke?
I wish you could all see yourselves. You look as if you'd just come in from a funeral or something.
Sarah, if it was just a joke, why didn't you say so when I told you about the psychiatrist?
No, I'm all mixed up. I swear I saw a tall, skinny man with funny hair get into a flying saucer and fly away. If it was just a joke you made up, Sarah, maybe I'm the one who needs a psychiatrist, because I saw that. I know I did.
All right. Sarah's going to keep her appointment, aren't you, Sarah?
I don't see any point, David. You'd just be throwing your money away.
Well, still, if I ask you to, you will, won't you?
Well, if you want me to, why not? I can't see what good it's going to do, but I guess it can't do any harm.
No, Sarah.
What?
What? I didn't say anything.
You are not to see the psychiatrist. Is that clear, Sarah? You will not see the psychiatrist.
Who said that?
What? Nobody said anything.
Didn't you hear it? B.
I didn't hear anything.
You will do as you are told. You will refuse to see the psychiatrist.
Who are you?
Sarah?
I can cause you pain, Sarah. I can cause you great pain.
David, what is it? Somebody keeps... Don't you hear that voice?
I don't hear anything, Sarah.
I do not want to cause you pain, Sarah, but I will if I must. You are not to see the psychiatrist.
Come on. We better go, honey. The appointment's for 11 o'clock.
All right, I'm coming.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Truly, I am.
David.
Oh, David! David, make it stop!
Sarah.
Make it stop!
I hope you didn't feel the pain along with Sarah. It would have convinced you, of course, as I'm sure it has convinced the people in our story, that the man from outer space is real and not altogether friendly. If there is any doubt lingering in your mind, however, I believe it will be dispelled when I return shortly with Act 3. This is WBBM Chicago, News Radio 78. The willingness of the open mind to accept the new and seemingly miraculous, at least as an hypothesis, has always faced opposition from the less flexible mind, which finds the status quo easier to live with. David, however, as well as B and Harry, has had a convincing demonstration that the new is only the as yet unknown. B and Harry are waiting in Dr. Freuling's reception room. David has taken Sarah into the doctor's office.
Now, just lie down here and rest. And help me with her, will you, Mr. Hughes?
Please, make it stop.
Honey, do what the doctor says. Lie down and try to take it easy. Just do as the doctor says. She seems to be in a great deal of pain, Doctor.
No, she is in pain. There's no doubt whatever about that. What causes the pain, this is what we must learn first of all.
Well, can't you give her something?
I think best not to do that until I have learned what has happened to her.
Sarah, refuse to speak with this doctor, this psychiatrist. Tell him only what you have been ordered to say. You have seen no man from a flying saucer. It was only a silly joke. Leave his office. Nobody can force you to stay. And go home. Do only this and there will be no more pain.
You are asleep now, Sarah. You are in a deep, restful sleep. You are resting in a quiet, lovely place where there is no pain. No pain, only rest.
You will not sleep. You are uncomfortable. There's no severe pain now, but you know there will be if you listen to this man.
Now, Sarah, I want you to tell me exactly what happened this morning before David came back from his office.
I can't, Dr. Foiling.
Uh-huh. Well, it is not yet. We try again.
Foiling, if it's going to keep on like this, I think we'd better just quit.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
We are on the right track. He was there this morning. She told me that much before he got through to her again. We are going to win, Mr. Hughes.
Well, win or lose, what's going to be left of Sarah?
All of her, Mr. Hughes. More than there is of her now. Sarah, shall we try again?
I can't, Dr. Foiling. You won't let me. You don't know how it hurts.
It's no good, Sarah. You know it is no good.
Now, try to relax and clear your mind of everything but what I say to you.
I'll try.
Sarah, what did the man do when he came to see you this morning?
He said he asked me... Oh, no! No, Doctor. He asked me to help him. Stop it! Stop it, please!
Sarah, you are under my control, not his. Pain will never stop until you do as I say. You must do as I tell you.
Bear it, Sarah. You can bear it if you try. Help me, and it will all be finished sooner than you think. How did he want you to help him?
It will be worse. The pain will be worse.
He wanted me to... He wanted me to make it stop.
He wanted you to what?
Beat his contact. He couldn't... Oh, God. He said he couldn't read a thought I was...
Oh, pain can't kill, Sarah. What if I decide to kill you?
I don't care.
Enough, Dr. Foiling, that's enough.
You were to what, Sarah? What did he want you to do?
He put a thing in my head, and he knows what I'm thinking. He can... No! He can hurt me with it. Oh,
She fainted. Doctor, is
Wait. Her pulse is strong. That's good.
Is she...
She will be all right. He cannot hurt her while she is unconscious. He put a thing into her head. Is that what she said? Is that what you heard her say?
Yes. Isn't there something you can do?
Miss Jamieson, I want an ambulance at once. Emergency entrance, Physicians Hospital. Get Dr. Carter for me. Tell him Physicians Hospital at once. It was good of you to come, Dr. Carter.
Yes. What have we got?
A device has been implanted in a young lady's skull, I believe. I cannot be certain.
Implanted by whom? How long ago?
Only this morning, as I believe it. By whom? No, it's a long story, and the patient is in intermittent pain.
All right. We'll have to have x-rays.
I have already made x-rays. They are here.
All right. Have you read them? Have you found anything?
Well, I am a psychiatrist. I think there is something, but I do not wish to prejudice your judgment.
Oh, very well. Well, is everything clear here? It's all right. Nothing here. And wait a minute. That little particle. Is that what you mean?
How does it look to you?
It's like a pinhead. Oh, yes. It's foreign, all right. Must be. But implanted? It's very small.
Large enough. I am afraid for my patient's reason. Perhaps her life. I do not know.
I have to see her before you operate, Dr. Carter. She's already been sedated. Believe me, Dr. Carter, it's imperative. Well, if you feel so strongly about it. Sarah?
Oh, is that you, David?
Yes. Feel better now?
Oh, yes, I feel fine. Just sleepy. He isn't bothering me right now. I mean, there isn't any pain.
Do you think you could contact him, Sarah?
I expect he's around. Why?
I want to get a message to him.
What message? David, I don't want you to...
No. I just want to talk to him, Sarah. I just want to meet him. Is he listening now?
Oh, I can't tell, but I imagine he is. David, you must...
I just want him to meet me and talk to me. It's as important to him as it is to me. I'll go back to the house. There's nothing I can do here anyway. I'll go back to the house and meet him there. I have something important to tell him. Important to him.
Well, if he's listening, you could just tell him now.
No, not now. I'll meet him at our house as soon as I can get there.
I'm afraid, David. You sound as though...
Just give me a kiss, Sarah. I love you.
I have taken more trouble than you realize, Mr. Hughes, to meet you here. What is it you wish to tell me?
I have a proposition for you.
I am willing to listen for a short time, though. The surgery is about to begin.
You aren't going to interfere, are you?
Your wife is a danger to us. I am sure you can understand that. We're reluctant to take a life, of course, but our mission is of greater importance.
Listen. Now, just listen. Why does it have to be Sarah? What's the matter with me?
What do you mean?
I mean, put your gadget, whatever it is, in me. Why couldn't you do that? I'd cooperate, don't you see? You wouldn't have any of this resistance you get from Sarah.
Why? Why would you turn against your own people to help us? Aliens, as you call us. Why would you be willing to do that?
Willing? I'd be doing it to save Sarah's life. Wouldn't you do as much for your wife?
We do not have wives.
Oh. Well, my wife is very dear to me. There's nothing, I guess, that I wouldn't do for her.
So you stay quiet.
What?
Please. Do not speak. I am in communication with my colleagues.
Oh. Tell them...
Be quiet.
Oh, God, please.
All right.
You'll do it?
No. We have decided against using you.
Huh?
We have learned a great deal from you. This love is your word. This is an unfamiliar factor. This love must be taken into consideration. We are not sure that anyone so afflicted would be sufficiently stable for our purposes.
And what about Sarah?
It is a risk to release her, of course, for we cannot erase her memory, but we have taken greater risks.
Then you won't interfere with the operation?
Not interfere, no. Not the way you mean. We shall help. Your surgeon will need our help.
Oh, thank God. How is she, Doctor?
Fine. I have never seen anything like it. Would you ask her yourself?
Sarah?
Oh, David, I feel so much better. I feel perfectly well, as if nothing ever happened.
Thank God for that.
I have never seen such surgery. A motion picture at fast speed. His hands moved so quickly, I would never have believed it.
Did you see him? The man from the saucer?
Yes, honey. He's real. You'll be glad to know that.
Oh, I do. Believe me, I know.
Is she really all right, Dr. Furling?
Quite, yes. She is free now.
Yes, I'm free. But I don't think they've finished. They're too strong. We're too vulnerable. I'm safe, yes, for the time being at least, but I don't know if the world will ever be really safe again.
Maybe it will. They've discovered a new factor. Maybe it's stronger than they are.
Well, how strong is love? The new factor on this old earth of ours. Stronger than hatred? I like to think so. Hatred makes the headlines, I know, but love, in its unassuming way, has been making the world go round for a good many years now. I'll be back shortly. David is president of his bank now, and doing a very good job of it, too. He and Sarah are even happier, have an even more secure marriage than before their adventure. The near loss of something dear often underscores the dearness of it. Well, whether you come by UFO or some more conventional method of travel, be here to join us for our next chilling story. Our cast included Kim Hunter, Nat Polan, Ralph Bell, Joe Silver, and Robert Dryden. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
You can't get anything past our border guards.
Yes, it was just an idea.
Besides, we have to fly out of here. I'm going to a convention, and you're going on a tour. Now, let me apply some scientific thinking to this. How can I get that platinum out? Oh, no. No, I don't believe it.
You don't believe what?
What just flashed in my brain. It's so simple, so ridiculously easy. And it's absolutely foolproof.
What is?
This plan, this idea.
Tell me.
No, darling. You're too important.
Well, if I'm so important, shouldn't I know?
No.
This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The history of man shows that we find it almost impossible to differentiate between saint and devil. And the smoke of countless fires has consumed the bodies of a considerable number of self-styled healers and mystics who have been condemned by society as devils and burnt at the stake, while their followers mourned them as saints. But no one person in history has aroused the flaming controversy that still surrounds the life and death of a Russian monk named Rasputin.
I am Rasputin, the little father. Confess your sins to me, and you will gain salvation.
But I have nothing to confess, Father.
Oh, then you cannot gain salvation. Come, give me your shawl, and we will sin together and repent together. I will save you in spite of yourself. Now, give me your shawl.
Take my shawl and the knife.
Huh?
I'll give you death.
Monster! Die, Antichrist!
Our mystery drama, Courtyard of Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Murray Burnett and stars Norman Rose. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Buick Motor Division. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablets?
No, sinus medicine. Sinus tablets. Helps the headache and the pressure.
Oh, you mean sign-off.
Exactly.
Headache pain is one thing. A sinus headache is something else. Sometimes your whole face can seem to throb with pain. You want relief. Take Sign-Off tablets. SINEOFF, the sinus medicine that gives you a full dose of pure aspirin plus a sinus drainer. Sign-Off, the sinus medicine that helps relieve sinus pain while you drain. And Sign-Off doesn't stop there. Have you tried Sign-Off Sinus Spray, the fastest known form of sinus congestion relief? It works in seconds. That's Sign-Off Sinus Spray. When sinus flares up, use Sign-Off tablets and spray only as directed.
SINEOFF.
Sign-Off.
Exactly.
Sign-Off, the sinus medicines in the bright red box.
Louisiana Downs, where you come first. America's new show place for thoroughbred racing. Excitement's high, lots of fun. The action's great when they're on the run. Louisiana Downs, where you come first.
Louisiana Downs for the fun and thrills of thoroughbred racing at its finest. Racing every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with post time at 1:05. Louisiana Downs with the Daily Double and the Exactas. Louisiana Downs, Highway 20, Bossier City. Louisiana Downs, where you come first.
Excitement's high, lots of fun. The action's great when they're on the run. Louisiana Downs, where you come first.
Direct phone for information, 263-1174. In 1915, the court of Tsar Nicholas of Russia was dominated by a drunken, dissolute monk who had taken the name Rasputin. And it was Rasputin's notorious orgies that ultimately led to his banishment from court, despite the fact that Rasputin wielded extraordinary power over the Tsar and the Tsarina because of his ability to ease the pain of their only child. The Tsarevich, heir to the Russian throne,
had been born a hemophiliac, a victim of the bleeding disease. And when Rasputin appeared at court, his hypnotic voice and soothing touch did the Tsarevich more good than any doctor's prescription.
Well, Dr. Lasavet, how is he? How is my son?
The Tsarevich is resting, Your Highness.
Comfortably.
Reasonably so.
Is he in pain?
Oh, it's hard to tell.
You and the other court physicians are incapable of helping my son. But I know someone who can.
Rasputin?
Yes, La Sauvere. Rasputin, whose name brings that grimace of disgust to your lips, but whose touch brings comfort to my son.
Your Highness, I dare not presume, but you know I speak out of my love for you and the Tsar. You make a mistake placing Russia's fate in the hands of this charlatan, this drunken debaucher of the ladies of your court. He'll surely bring ruin to Russia.
You will see to it that Rasputin is brought back to court as soon as possible.
We repent us of our sins, O Lord, and we sin only so that we can show you true contrition. Most Reverend Father, I seek your permission to open the door, since I know the message will be for me.
How would you know that, my son?
It is an inner voice that tells me. A voice that has never before been wrong. It tells me that there will be a summons from the Tsarina, because the Tsarevich is bleeding again, and he needs me.
Permission granted, my son.
I am here by order of Nicholas, Tsar of all the Russias. I come for the monk Rasputin. His presence is demanded at court.
Tsarevich and I are in your debt. You have worked your miracle. My son smiles in his sleep. The pain has gone.
Ah, the miracles are not mine, but the Lord's, madame.
Oh, the devils.
La Sauvere, what are you doing here?
Once again serving as a messenger, Your Highness. Colonel Amder seeks an audience.
I'm going to my quarters, madame. The Tsarevich will sleep through the night. A man of God and the chief of the secret police have little to share.
Little Father, I came because I knew I would find you here. What Colonel Amder has to say concerns you.
But Colonel Amder, this is preposterous. I will not tolerate the Okhrana withdrawing protection from the little father here.
Your Highness, as the head of the secret police, I can no longer in all conscience furnish any protection to Rasputin.
You speak of conscience, Colonel. What is it that weighs so heavily upon your sense of duty?
Treachery, Your Highness.
I assume, Colonel, you have some proof of these charges, whatever they are.
Your Highness, here are the documents.
Yes, I can see that these have something to do with medical supplies and the war, but I have no time to read them through.
These documents show that Rasputin has sold millions of rubles worth of medical supplies to Germany, a country which is waging war against us.
And do your documents explain why our little father would do this?
Yes, Your Majesty, to line his pockets. As payment, Rasputin has been given shares in the Süddeutsche Munitions Factory, as well as shares in Taunus Manufacturing and Copernicus Industries in Bavaria. Your Highness perhaps knows of these companies.
Little father, tell Colonel Amdur what you have told the Tsar and me.
Oh, madame, it will make no difference to him.
Tell him.
It is a prophecy, Colonel, and it is this. If I die at the hands of the nobility or members of the court, the Tsar and the Tsarina will lose their crown and their son within 6 months of my death.
Come in. Dr. Lasauvere. arranged for you to be admitted privately, expressly to meet this young lady. Her name is Barbara.
Oh, she's most certainly worth meeting, but...
Barbara is going to kill Rasputin.
Why do you tell me this, Colonel? I dissociate.
Yes, Doctor. Very commendable and cautious. But do you think I would risk my position unless I were absolutely certain about this lady?
What makes you so certain?
3 months ago, my sister and I were walking along the Nevsky Prospect. Rasputin was driving by in his carriage. He saw my sister, had the coachman stop, and alighted from the carriage and accosted her. She tried to push by him. He became insistent, and then, despite my screams, he picked her up bodily and threw her into his carriage and drove off. And neither I nor my family have seen her since.
But we know where she is.
Yes, she's in the quarters of Rasputin in the palace.
I brought you here, Doctor, for you to show Barbara exactly where to strike Rasputin with a knife, so that the thrust will be certain to kill him.
Haven't you overlooked the fact that before Barbara can strike, she must be close enough to strike?
Use your eyes and wits, Doctor. Isn't she beautiful?
Extremely.
Don't you know that it's the custom of this lecher to hold audiences just like a reigning monarch every day from 10 to 12 in the morning?
But surely he'll recognize Barbara as the sister.
We can't be certain of that, but even if he does, it's all the better for our plan.
I don't see how.
Barbara will join the line of supplicants outside Rasputin's apartments tomorrow morning. It is his custom to come out and look over the waiting petitioners before he sees them. It is also his custom to select any beautiful young women and take them into his private chamber before he deals with the others. He's certain to pick Barbara, you agree?
Yes.
And suppose he recognizes her as the sister of the girl he abducted. Could there be anything more natural than that she should come to ask about her sister?
To plead, to beg, with tears in my eyes and trembling lips, to ask for grace.
Exactly. The whole world knows how Rasputin dispenses grace. And where?
In his private room.
Exactly. And when he has you in the room and attempts to take you in his arms, then, Doctor, you will show her exactly where to strike.
Little sister, do I know you?
You remember me? Oh, thank God you remember me.
Come, little sister. The Lord will prepare thy going out and thy coming in.
Then you will tell me how my sister is doing, won't you?
Your sister?
Oh, then you don't remember.
No, you mustn't let those beautiful eyes fill with tears. Try to recall for me.
Nevsky Prospect. It was months ago. I was walking with my sister and you passed by in your carriage.
Ah, yes. The little flower that I plucked off the street and exorcised the devils within her. She is safe, your sister. She has found salvation with me.
Oh, my parents will be so happy to hear that little father. May I see her?
After we make sure that you are without sin, little sister. Come, we'll pray together. Now, this is the cleansing room. It is here you will find salvation.
But, little father...
Oh, come.
It's so dark. I cannot...
Dark rooms to hear dark tales. You can start by removing your shawl. There's only Our Lady to see you.
Olga, my sister. Where is she?
In good time, little bird, in good time. You must be saved. Give me your shawl.
I'll give you death. Monster. Die. Die. Christ. I cleansed myself, little father. Your death will bring me salvation. Remember who it was that sent you there as you burn in hellfire.
Rasputin, saint or devil? The arguments still rage. But the single most powerful man in Russia lay on the floor of the palace in St. Petersburg while his lifeblood ebbed away. Was this to be his end? We'll be back shortly with the answer and Act 2.
There's a fresh new spirit sweeping the land. A spirit of honesty and integrity. A free spirit. A spirit that demands products which fill your utilitarian needs while satisfying your good taste and your desire for economy. We at Buick have felt the spirit and are dedicated to your sense of freedom. Our crisply designed, solidly built 1975 Buicks will bring joy even to the most demanding of free spirits. The 1975 Buick Electra, LeSabre, Riviera, Century, Skylark, Apollo, and the gutsy new Buick Skyhawk are dedicated to the free spirit in just about everyone. Hey, there's an exciting new attitude at Buick. Take advantage of it at your local Buick dealer.
The Cowboys play the Redskins this Thanksgiving. You don't plan to miss it, but make today an extra special one for your entire family. Treat them to a traditional Thanksgiving feast at the Marriott before the game. Park free at the Marriott, then take their express bus direct to Texas Stadium. The buffet opens at 11 o'clock, so you'll have plenty of time to enjoy a leisurely meal. And just listen to this menu. Pulled roast turkey and ham, carved to order. Fried chicken, salad, vegetables, potatoes and gravy, and of course, pumpkin pie and mincemeat pie. All you can eat for only $4.95. That's right, only $4.95. No dinner reservations are necessary, but please call ahead if you want a seat on the bus. Bring your family to the Marriott this Thanksgiving. Let the Marriott serve you and then take you to the game. That's the Marriott Motor Hotel across from Market Hall.
The year was 1915, and the Russian imperial court seethed with intrigue. At the center was the bizarre figure of Rasputin. Dissolute, drunken Rasputin openly boasted of his influence with the Tsar and the Tsarina. Idolized by half the nation as a saint and a healer, Rasputin was loathed, feared, and plotted against by the other half. One such plot resulted in a stabbing which wounded him so seriously he has been hovering between life and death for days.
You will be careful to keep this bandage in place, little father. And you will also refrain from drinking.
Wine makes blood, Dr. Lassauvert. It will be good for me.
For just once, listen to the doctor.
Perhaps it would have been better had I died.
How can you say that?
Had I died, you and the Tsar would be safe. There are many who still plot against me, and should they succeed, madame, you and your family will lose the throne within 6 months of my death.
You should rest more and talk less.
In 10 days, I shall be in Tobolsk.
But that's in Siberia.
My birthplace, little mother. I feel the Lord wishes me to revisit the province where I was born.
Out of the question. I will not be responsible for your health if you undertake such a journey.
I do God's will only. And if God wills it, I shall return.
Oh, you must, little father. You must.
If Rasputin undertakes this journey, it will be against my orders.
I take note of that, La Sauvere.
And risking your highness's displeasure, I remind you that your niece, Princess Irina, and her husband have been waiting in audience with you for some hours.
If they wish to see me, have them shown in here.
But, your highness, neither the princess nor Count Elston has ever met the little father, and I'm uncertain.
But of course. Of course. It will be perfect.
What?
The train. Count Elston's private train. He will be delighted to lend it to the little father for his journey.
This is not a task for the head of the Okrana guarding a train. La Sauvere, couldn't you have let the scoundrel die?
I'm afraid it was a higher power than mine.
Ah, yes. The picture of the Holy Virgin that saved the life of the holy Rasputin.
Barbara's knife would have pierced a vital organ had it not been deflected by the wooden frame of the picture of the Virgin Mary.
Are you becoming a disciple of the monk then, Doctor?
Not at all. It just seems a strange coincidence.
Of which he's made more capital with Her Highness.
Are you still determined to remove Rasputin?
He's vermin. Vermin must be exterminated. Russia must be saved from him.
And at the same time you save Mother Russia. You ensure your continuation as the head of the Okrana.
Oh, you know something. What have you heard?
Only the gossip of the court. Her Highness is unhappy with your removal of the guard from Rasputin.
I don't care about my career. You must believe that the first motive I have for seeing that the devil dies is to save Russia.
Colonel Amter, it's a pleasure to see you again, old friend.
I am honored, Count Elston. Doubly honored by your wife's presence.
Irina wouldn't hear of our turning over the train without inspecting it and seeing that everything was in order.
And also removing some of my personal belongings. I've heard that this monk isn't the neatest to death.
Anything you've heard, Princess, is not only true, but also probably understated.
Then, Felix, why are we lending our train to Rasputin?
Because Alexandra asked us to, my sweet.
May I help you on, Princess?
Thank you.
Dr. La Sauvere, this is the Princess Irina and her husband, Count Elston.
Dr. La Sauvere and I are old friends. I'm delighted, but also surprised to see him here.
Your aunt insisted that he be aboard to check on your guest's health. You know, of course, that it was his skill that helped save Rasputin's life.
I'd heard. Congratulations, Doctor.
Thank you, Princess.
I'm sure you gentlemen will excuse me. Felix, darling, I shall be in my car if you want me.
Colonel, I have an unpleasant task to perform. I have a message from Her Highness. I wish that she'd chosen some other messenger, but it's my duty to inform you that you are relieved of your duties as head of the Okrana.
So, it's happened. Rasputin wins. When does this order take effect?
As of now, your replacement, Major General Orloff, is on his way. Sorry, Sergei.
I, too, Your Excellency. For you, for myself, for Her Highness, and for Russia.
Is that you, Felix? Darling? I do hope you're not annoyed. Who are you?
A man of God, Princess. And a friend of your Aunt Alexandra.
You're Rasputin.
Is it my appearance that surprises you? Surely you've heard about me.
Have you seen my husband?
Not yet, dear lady. I first wanted to thank you personally for your kindness in lending me this train.
Aunt Alexandra told me that you would return our train by the 1st of the month.
Did she also tell you that Rasputin does what he likes, when he likes?
If you'll excuse me, I'll join my husband.
First, you will sit on my knees and tell me about your sins.
You will take your hand off my wrist.
Oh, don't be ashamed of your sins. If you're wise, you'll accept salvation at my hands. Yes, you will sin as you have never sinned. You will reach heights of ecstasy that you've only dreamed of in your darkest dreams. And then we will repent and earn our salvation together.
I'll kill my husband. He'll kill you.
The Count is wiser than you. God protects me, and the Count knows better than to interfere with God. The devil made your nails sharp.
Get out! Get out of this car before I put your eyes out.
The devil triumphs now, but God will be victorious. Finally.
Irina, are you all right?
Oh, Felix, darling, you mustn't concern yourself about me. I just need rest.
Not concern myself about you. That's like asking a bird not to fly. Irina, it's been 2 weeks since you had the fall on the train, and since then you've rarely been out of your room.
The doctor said I should rest.
I know, but the fall wasn't that bad. He said you just received a bruise on your forehead, and it shouldn't have had this much effect on you.
I'll be all right, Felix. I promise.
I love you. You've been such a dreadful liar all your life. What is it? What really is troubling you?
Now is no time to talk about it, Felix. It will pass.
And the nightmares. They don't seem to be improving. Every night I have to wake you and hold you.
Oh, is that so terrible, Felix?
No, not the holding, darling. Never that, but the nightmares and your screams. Something must have terrified you.
Please, Felix. I'll be better, I promise. If you'll just stop trying to find out.
Stop trying to find out what's driving my wife close to a nervous breakdown? Is that what you ask of me?
Yes.
You are afraid. That's where the nightmares come from fear. Now, what is it you fear?
Oh, just stupidity. Just silly little things that you wouldn't understand.
Try me.
No, not now.
Irina, what really happened on the train?
You will be angry.
Perhaps. But wouldn't you rather see me angry than tortured the way I am now?
Rasputin.
Rasputin?
He came to my car when I was packing my things.
And what happened?
Nothing. I'm being stupid. It was nothing. Nothing that a woman such as I shouldn't have been able to handle.
He wouldn't have dared. He knew who you were.
He talked about my sins. He wanted me to gain salvation by sinning with him. And when I refused and I threatened to tell you, he laughed. Oh, Felix, come back. Felix, where are you going?
Your nightmares are over.
Felix, please, if you love me, come back and listen.
No, I'm here.
He laughed because of his power over Aunt Alexandra. He said that if you complained about him to her, she'd believe that you were in league with the devil, as all of his enemies must be.
But Alexandra loves you. She knows that
she loves her son more.
And the bruise. How did you come by the bruise?
When I struggled with him and finally broke away from his grasp, he became enraged. He struck me. I fell. Then he left. But I know he still wants me, and I'm afraid.
Irina, my darling, I swear to you that you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear, because now that you have told me this, Rasputin is as good as dead.
And now Rasputin has added a powerful and implacable enemy to the long list of men and women who plotted against his life. But so far, he has survived all the plots and attempts to kill him. However, Count Elston was by far the most powerful and determined of Rasputin's foes. I'll be back shortly with Act 3 to take you further along on this journey to the cellars of death.
had a tall, frosty glass of Amplitude? Well, if your beer is Budweiser, you've had it often. Amplitude is a fancy word for the entire taste phenomenon, the total experience of flavor. Next time you take a healthy swallow of Bud, watch what happens. Think about the sensations you're experiencing. Notice how the flavor of Bud comes on nice and easy. Not too strong, not too quick. Just right. Notice the clean, crisp togetherness of Bud's taste. Everything in perfect balance, with no single element jumping out at you. And there'll be no aftertaste either, no hanging on. And you'll be refreshed and ready for another glassful. Actually, Bud drinkers have been experiencing Amplitude for years, but they never phrase it that way. They just say Budweiser, and that says it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Ice cream is better than anything, better than anything in the world. Better in a crunchy cone, better simply left alone, better on a finger bone. Guilty bound, vital pound, solve this world, mix and twirl. Portland ice cream is better than anything, better than anything in the world.
The mirror of history reflects the Russian court in the year 1915 as a hotbed of corruption and deceit, overlaid by orgiastic religious hysteria. This last was brought about through the influence of a peasant monk named Rasputin. Rasputin openly lived a life of drunken debauchery, practicing what he preached. In order to find true repentance and salvation, one must sin. Rasputin sinned, and in sinning incurred many enemies. Among them, one of the most powerful nobles in Russia, Count Felix Elston.
Sergei, thank you for your promptness. I apologize for not delivering the note in person.
I am honored and pleased that you thought of me, Count. How may I help your excellency?
How many men have you killed?
Well, am I to include those I had executed when I was in command of the secret police?
No. Personally.
3.
I had thought it was more.
I wish to heaven it had been at least one more.
Anyone I know?
I believe he recently carried a scar on his face made by your wife's fingernail.
You dog! You knew about Rasputin and Irina, and you didn't...
Please, Your Excellency, I meant no offense. I wish the devil were burning in hell. I tried to say to them, please, go of my throat.
And Rasputin knew. He found out you sent that woman to kill him, and that's why he had you replaced as head of the Okhrana.
He would have had me dismissed even if I hadn't tried to have him killed. Still, Colonel Sergei Andor. I'm sure if Rasputin has his way, I shall shortly be sent to the front to fight the Germans.
I must not let that happen. I need you, Colonel.
What for?
To help me kill Rasputin. No. Colonel, if I may say so, all of the methods you've suggested are too professional.
I thought that's why you wanted my help, because I am a professional.
The picture of Rasputin that everyone paints for me is that of a cunning peasant. Now, I am convinced that cunning peasant has a nose that sniffs out danger to himself and smells plots even before they're hatched.
Perhaps. But he didn't suspect Barbara. If it hadn't been for that painting, he'd be dead now.
True. If we could only find someone whom Rasputin would trust implicitly.
That would have to be someone he knew well.
Or had good reason to trust. This time, Rasputin must not escape.
Then we must have the perfect assassin. Where do we find him?
Here. Me.
You? An assassin?
In this case, a patriot, and one we both can trust.
What makes you think you can gain Rasputin's confidence?
You forget that he's a peasant.
That would hardly seem to recommend you to him.
Sergei, I've yet to meet a peasant who wasn't a snob at heart. From all that I hear, Rasputin is also greedy beyond belief. He'd be flattered to be on intimate terms with Count Elston, the wealthiest noble in Russia. Find me someone to introduce me to him under the right auspices, And I'll wager 1,000 rubles I'm right.
And if you're not?
I'll pay you 1,000 rubles and we'll have to find another plan.
Come, Felix, drink up. Wine is good for the soul.
Little father, I don't think our acquaintance has progressed to the point where you can call a prince of the blood by his given name.
What? Oh, I apologize. I apologize, Your Excellency. Oh, will Your Excellency suit? Or do you prefer Count?
Count will do nicely.
Oh, you'll be the first aristocrat I've ever addressed by title. I might enjoy the novelty. Drink up, Count.
My head isn't as strong as yours. When I do business with you, I must keep my wits about me.
You aristocrats, you're all alike. Pretending that money is of no importance, but always looking to cheat a poor man out of a kopeck. Well, I won't allow you to cheat Rasputin. You just remember that, Count.
Tell me, little father, why do I have the same feeling about men of God?
Oh, careful, Count. That is close to blasphemy.
What if it is? Can I earn forgiveness if I repent?
Of course. Why don't you start by deeding me the land we've been talking about for 4,000 rubles.
But we've been talking about the price being 10,000.
But that was before you had something to repent. You must pay for penitence and salvation.
Don't you think the price is a trifle high?
No, salvation isn't bought cheaply. Of course, you have other assets. Your wife, I found.
You will not mention my wife.
Huh? Count, you're very fortunate that I like you. Otherwise, you might find yourself in disfavor at the court. Drink up.
I don't like your wine.
What? It's the Tsar's best Madeira. I must sample your cellar sometime.
My wine cellars are open only to my friends.
Then we shall soon be drinking your wine, Count. I never fail to make a friend of a man I like. You'll find the desire for my company growing upon you.
Bravo, Count. Where did you learn to play the guitar like that?
Credit my father. He visited Spain and fell madly in love with the music of the flamenco guitar.